This one's for 3. AJ Hawk, $5,000.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this glorious Super Bowl season, Feel Good Friday, January 30th, 2026, this program begins now. Football! It is magical. We're 9 days away from the Super Bowl that has the Seattle Seahawks favored by 4.5 in a battle against the New England Patriots in Santa Clara, California, as the Patriots and Mike Vrabel and Drake May try to reclaim the NFL kingdom for the New England Patriots fan base and the Seattle Seahawks, alongside what appears to be a football defensive computer genius, Mike Macdonald and Sam Darnold, in a resurgence of a career in which a lot of people said that he was ass, can bring the Lombardi back to the Pacific Northwest, a place that is used to having success, but didn't expect to have this type of run this early. Nobody could have. But what Sam Darnold has done over the last 2 years is better than damn near anybody in the history of the game. What this McDonald fella has done is become a defensive guru. You know, McVay down there at the Los Angeles Rams got a lot of people jobs because they were offensive geniuses. They knew the X's and O's. This guy got a gig with the Seattle Seahawks after Pete Carroll was relieved of his duties, and he is the defensive guru, super genius coordinator guy. That is what everybody is looking for right now. If they hire a defensive coach, is this guy right here. His first ever team meeting that he had at the Seattle Seahawks, first time being a head coach, he comes in and he says, all right, I want you guys all, most of this team is not going to be here You know, it's off-season still. There's training camp. This is the first day of a brand-new regime. Who knows who's going to actually make it? Close your eyes. I want you to envision NFC Championship. We're at home. It's 30. It's raining a little bit. Shitty for them, just right for us. What happens? The exact situation. He thought it was going to happen in year 1. Turns out it happens in year 2, and I don't think it's slowing down. When you have a defensive mind like that, they are going to make your day miserable for the next 10, 15 years, it feels like. And on the offensive side, Sam Darnold being welcomed in there, I think $55 million guaranteed deal. He's obviously not the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, but is on a great deal for where he was in his career. He might ask for more. He's got another 10 years in his career as well. So if the offense is going to get taken care of, and the defense is going to be greater. The Seattle Seahawks in the middle of maybe a next dynasty. And then on the flip side, with Drake maybe in 23 and Vrabel with a chip on his shoulder after getting fired basically from the Tennessee Titans, are they going to be great for the next 10 years? We're potentially watching the beginning of what the next decade or two could look like in the NFL. And that's why 9 days from now, it's such a big deal. There's going to be parts of the globe that are watching football for the first time all year. They're going to see this 23-year-old out of nowhere. What's this thing? He was up for the MVP this year. Whoa, that's crazy. That guy with the big nose, large head, what is that guy? He's the head coach. Wasn't he on the other? No, yeah, he was, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. He's like a really good coach? Yeah. They how are they doing? Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then on the other side, who's that guy? I never seen him before. Defense coordinator, Ravens. Yeah, he was like 1 year, maybe 2 years over there. Then he was gone. Nobody really knew who the hell he was either. He's really. And then that guy, the other guy's supposed to suck, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, he doesn't anymore, actually. 14-win seasons, back-to-back years, like Tom and like Montana, I think, or something like that. Holy hell, is this a new era? It feels like it is. But this new era could very much look like an older era. And I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I certainly know there are parts of the country that are pumped up about it. Let's go to the Toxic Table at Boston Connor at Ty Schmidt. Con man, 9 days away from potentially being the kings of the castle yet again. How do you feel? Are you getting more nervous? I woke up this morning, I'm going to tell you this, and I haven't made an official pick. I'm not making my official pick at this moment. I've gone both sides of the coin here on this particular game. Sure. 69% of the bets now are on the Seattle Seahawks -4.5. We have certainly seen them buzzsaw some people and look a lot better on the offensive side of things. You know, the Patriots underdogs in the Super Bowl. I think they feel good about that particular case. But I've been on both sides. Yeah, I can see the Seattle Seahawks winning by at least a touchdown. I mean, last year was a blowout. Mm-hmm. So who says that the Super Bowl has to be a good game? You know, I can see it. And then I woke up this morning, Patriots +4.5 was never more clear in my mind, because although the Seattle Seahawks might win because they do have offensive firepower. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba is outrageous. Kenneth Walker looks a little bit like Le'Veon Bell whenever he's playing there. Sam Darnold is playing outrageous, let alone the other weapons that they have. I think they have, yeah, you get it. But nonetheless, I've woke up, I just feel like a 4.5 points game is a little bit too big for what this New England Patriots team does. I think if the history tells us about the Patriots, which it shouldn't because it's a brand new era, but has a lot of similar faces, I guess, up there, they're going to make it ugly. Mm-hmm. So like 4.5 feels like a lot, even if the Seahawks are to win it. That's where I'm at this morning. How do you feel, and have you wavered in your belief on what the game could look like for this Patriots team for you?
I don't think I've wavered in my belief. I feel confident. This morning when I woke up, I texted probably 10, 15 people say, hey, Patriots are going to win this game. This is crazy because we are talking about it getting ugly, and I don't know if it will get ugly. I think the Patriots offense doesn't get any respect because of the last game and how it went and kind of the maybe box scores of Drake May. But when you think about scoring 21 points on offense against the Texans defense, that didn't happen to all year. I think it's very possible for Drake May to have kind of a masterclass, kind of a, oh, you thought that this was because of the schedule. You think that I'm good because of the teams that I'm playing more.
Could you imagine?
I can. I can.
Against this Seattle Seahawks defense, too, with the things that, now granted, that's the thing for Sam Darnold. He's going to have to deal with this New England Patriots defense. And I think some people maybe saw Stiddy have success in one drive against his New England Patriots defense and thinking to themselves like, Stidham was able to have success. It was like, yeah, but what happened immediately after Stidham had success? It was like they figured it out.
Yeah.
That is, the Patriots are doing what they've done in their previous dynasty, which is just figure out what the hell you're doing. And kind of, I mean, it's like a boa constrictor, basically, right, throughout the rest of the game. That is kind of how the Patriots defense has been. And they haven't been chatted about. Texans defense talked about. Seattle Seahawks defense been talking about. And I think if you were to ask the quarterbacks on the other teams, they would say, hey, the Patriots defense should be talked about a little bit in this entire thing. And Sam might have a problem with that as well, which is why I think 4.5 feels like too much. That just feels like these are It feels like a lot of points with this Patriots defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This will be the best defense the Seahawks have played in the playoffs, and this will be the worst defense the Patriots have played in these playoffs. Like when you think about that kind of perspective, it does change a little. I do think the best bet would probably be the first quarter under, just because Drake hasn't started out too hot. Even in the NFC or AFC Championship, rather, when the weather was good, he just was a little shaky, it felt like, and that is, that's a 23-year-old second-year quarterback. You kind of expect that. And then same thing for Darnold. I expect the kind of Patriots plan to be very, very good for us in that Super Bowl.
Hembo stat, including the playoffs, the Seahawks and Patriots are only allowing 17.2 points per game this season. That is the lowest average entering the Super Bowl since Steelers-Packers, which was 2009,
2009 season, 2010.
Yeah,
and turned out to be high scoring.
Yeah,
both of those quarterbacks,
21, I believe, or something like that. 27-21, yeah.
And that was the one Aaron Rodgers put right past Ryan Clark's head.
Yeah, Greg Jennings.
Yep.
You watch that Rodgers roam ever? I just learned of this guy this year.
Oh, yeah. He's pretty good.
I just learned of this guy.
Same. Just found this guy.
Just learned of this Rodgers realm fella at the Steelers game when he was in full uniform.
Yeah, when they dapped up and met each other.
Yeah, not just him. All the boys came over to him. I'm like, this guy's awesome. Showing up in full uniform to a game is obviously awesome, incredible. You want guy's an athlete. Mm-hmm. Guy can really spin it. Him pointing out the little tiny gestures like, hey, he does this one a lot. He's like, he does do. Yeah, there is a lot of those as he throws this thing up. Shout out to Rodgers Rum. He's been a good. What's going on in Pittsburgh?
What do you mean?
What's going on in Pittsburgh, Donner? You guys are one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP tone. Any final thoughts here on the Super Bowl? You talked about the last time these two defenses this good played in the Super Bowl. It did seemingly have a little bit higher score than people could imagine. What are the bets kind of saying about how the game is going to go right now?
So Connor mentioned the first quarter under. Just to get that started off there, the last 11, I believe, are averaging 6.6 points per Super Bowl game in the first quarter, and the over-under for this one is 7.5 in the first quarter. The first quarter under is traditionally a very good bet. For teams are coming out, feeling each other out, don't want to make mistakes, stuff like that. The total has gone from 46.5 to 45.5, even though majority of the bets are on the over, but there's words of sharp money being on the under for this game in general. The number has not moved off of 4.5. The graphic right there is showing 70% of the bets are on Seattle. It is now down to 69%. We have ticked down all week long. It started in the mid-70s on Seattle. That's just a recency bias thing coming off of the championship games. It's like, okay, everyone's in on Seattle, and then you get the stats that come out, and then a lot of money starts coming on the Patriots, and I think it'll keep ticking down. As far as dogs go, because of the dogs are on a historic run. Since 2007, they are 11-7 outright. That's just winning the game. Dogs have won 11-7 outright since 2007. They are 13-5 against the spread. They have covered 5 straight, have the Dogs. So the Dogs are on a great run. So I think we're going to keep seeing Patriots money come in, and that number is going to come down.
Okay. I like how much action comes on a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because everybody sees it as a last opportunity to maybe go have a some sort of something. Coin toss has been pretty wishy-washy to me.
Yeah.
Seems like that's your best. When you go in and roulette, red-black feels like it's your best odds, but then obviously they got 0, 0. The green can hit you a little bit less than that. But if you go in there red-black, feels like you got a chance, like a 50-50 shot at it. You don't, obviously, they're going to skew it. But in that whole thing, it does feel like you got a chance to really hit that. Now, speaking of hitting that, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers got it right.
Oh, yeah.
We just mentioned the stat that Hembo sent in there about the two defenses averaging 17.7 points per game or whatever. That's the lowest average entering the Super Bowl since Steelers-Packers, which was 15.3. Two really good defenses. One of those defenses, Green Bay Packers defense, was actually mentioned by the man who's about to join us in a press conference when he said, we're top 5 defense, won a Super Bowl. So I understand how good Super Bowls are for the entirety. Man who grew up in the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, then would go on to become a coaching legend with stops in numerous places, coaching legends from all different generations of the NFL. He has to be the only human that has the head coaching resume that he has. And in the history of the NFL, whenever you talk about organizations that are storied, full of tradition, around a long time, and obviously could be considered America's teams, you would think the Dallas Cowboys, you think the Green Bay Packers, and then obviously you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers. a man who's been the head coach of the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, and now the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Yinzer legend, Super Bowl champion, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, coach!
Great to hear your voice again, Pat. Shit, I missed you guys.
Hey,
Thank you for the great introduction.
Hey, we missed you too. Congratulations, man. Obviously, we watched the presser where you couldn't even get a word out, okay? As you were rubbing your hands, you literally look like every Pittsburgh dad out there go, all right, bear with me here. And then, yep, there it is, bear with me here. And then doing the, you put them front row, Dahn. It's kind of unfair. Like you were, I think you endeared yourself with a lot of people around Pittsburgh because obviously we have seen and experienced humans like you in the past. And that was kind of your reference point to why when you walked in the building, it felt like home. Why do you think that you've held on this great appreciation of our home city for as long as you have? Because when AJ was with you in Green Bay, he was like, yeah, you walk into his office, it was like all Pittsburgh memorabilia, basically. And in Dallas, we assume it was the same thing. Why do you think you have so much pride in the city of Pittsburgh? And why do you think at this moment you are the right guy to get the Steelers to where they need to be for everybody in Pittsburgh to be pumped and celebrating that damn Lombardi, Coach?
I mean, Pittsburgh's who we are, Pat. I think you wear it on your sleeve the same way. You don't wear sleeves because you're always working, doing biceps and shit. But,
yeah, thank you. I am pretty.
But there you go. Yeah, there you go. But
put them away.
No, I think it's a big part of who we are, and it's just everywhere I go here. I mean, just to drive across the Hot Metal Bridge to work every day, and I remember J&L still being there as a kid, and now what it's turned into. But yes, I think it's like anything in life. We're in an industry where you're competing to win each and every day, and who you are and where you come from is important. And so I've always been very, very, very proud to be from Pittsburgh, and specifically, my neighborhood of Greenfield.
Yeah, and we are all proud that you're from Pittsburgh as well as fellow Yinzers. You getting the Steelers coaching job, though, as a Yinzer, you understand what that comes with. Very high expectation and very passionate fans. What was the conversation like with Con, with ownership, whenever you're getting interviewed for the job? And how do you, I guess everywhere you're at, there's high expectation, but how do you kind of regulate the expectation outside the building while trying to figure out what you're trying to do inside the building?
Yeah, I think it's just like anything. You have to be aware, and obviously we have a great PR department here with Bert, and so you have the responsibility to make sure you're delivering the message of the direction of the football team. But it's my responsibility to show up here every day and win, and that's just the way I've always gone about it. Because this is a 12-month job that you have to, there's always something to do. There's always a video to watch. There's always a conversation to have. There's always things that as far as your planning and getting ready for the next day, because at the end of the day, you're guaranteed 17 games. You're guaranteed 17 games to have the opportunity to get to the tournament and hopefully playing in the game that's being played this week. So, and I just think the simplistic, everyday blue-collar approach it has served me well, and I obviously learned it here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, perfect for Pittsburgh. I think Yinzers are pumped to hear about it. Let's talk about the team that you're going to have. You said that's Omar's job. Good play by you, by the way. I like that. And then also I appreciate whenever you guys were asked to talk about each other's experience with each other, I think with the Saints or whatever, you let Omar go first, and you said because if Omar says it, you can smack him or something like that. It feels like you two very close. Let's talk about that relationship a little bit, and then also the team going forward, because a lot of people said hiring you was basically a signal from the Steelers. It's like, hey, we're not rebuilding this thing. We are still where we are. Is that the vibe you get, the sense you get? And how does team construction go here until we kick off the next season for you?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the opportunities this year, you look at the roster. This is not a start over opportunity at all. And I think that's clear. It's a football team that was, in the playoffs last year. So to categorize it, it's a playoff roster. So, but just like anything, you got the financial, realm that you're dealing with every year. The free agents on your own football team. To me, that's always the primary focus. So we're definitely starting to have those conversations as we continue to hire the staff. Staff is the primary focus right now because that's a lot of work and time that goes into that. But yes, this is a roster I'm excited about. And, we'll just, once again, take it one day at a time and make sure we're ready for free agency, make sure we're ready for the draft. We got a bunch of draft picks. So this will be a hell of a draft class.
Draft's in Pittsburgh, too. We might be asking you to work. I guess you could pass. I guess you could pass it up this year. Last year you were great on draft analysis. I'm going to let you know. Amazing on there.
I had a great point guard. Yeah, I had a great point guard. So, yeah.
A lot of notes.
Great team.
He had
great
a lot of notes.
Prepared.
You had a lot of notes. I was asked about that, and I was like, this most prepared guy we have had, that we have worked with, and we got quoted Galileo. I didn't think a lot of people, would really have that in the Mike McCarthy bag before it came out here if you didn't play for a Mike McCarthy team. Now, I did mention that. Now, you mentioned in there staff hiring, okay? It seems like some's coming together. Go ahead, Tone.
Congrats, Coach, first and foremost. It's awesome that this happened. But, yeah, staff hiring, obviously, you talked about, is a huge deal. I don't think anything's official yet, but there's been names out there: Patrick Graham, James Campen, Jari Evans, Scotty Tolzien. All those seem like they'd be awesome hires. How is the staff coming together, and what are you looking for in a staff specifically?
I think the biggest thing, you have to have a level of experience and expertise as far as competing in this league. I think that's something that I really value a lot. Having an opportunity to put staffs together in the past. And as you do that, but I'm also looking for, some younger, energetic, coaches that also fit to, the direction of what we're doing. So, it's hard not to hire, 17 coaching staffs from Pittsburgh, because it seems like half the league's from Pittsburgh. But so that's always a challenge. But really, just making it fit together. That's really my focus right now.
AQ Shipley, I think AQ Shipley, he gets the urge to get out of Shipyard. He would have to Zoom call in. I think he's a little bit too comfortable out there in Phoenix. Cold as hell there in Pittsburgh. Obviously, nothing. Yeah. Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah. I've never seen snow like this. This has been a long time since this city's been hit with a snowstorm like this.
How many inches?
I think 10 inches. Yeah, 10 in the city. A lot of side streets are just getting cleared. So
was that 94 blizzard? When was the blizzard in Pittsburgh?
93.
93.
There was one when
93.
I don't know if you were a senior in college or I was a senior in college, 2009, 8, 10, somewhere around there. That was
10, yeah. They talk about 2010, I think it was the one. Last time I had one this big.
Well, especially with the way Pittsburgh is constructed, it's like, well, where the hell is the snow going to go?
Nowhere.
There's nowhere. Yeah, it's just all going to sit on top. Let's get warm. Let's get flamethrowers out there. I think that's really the only option you have at this point. But let's talk about you dealing with frozen tundra in the past. Ty Schmidt, obviously, is one of your biggest fans. I think he's pumped you onto the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm absolutely pumped. And I let Coach know. I texted him and said, hey, nothing wrong with having to root on the Steelers in the AFC. I'm happy with doing that. But, Coach, you kind of alluded to this a little bit in your opening press conference. Last time you had a year off, you basically said, it was a year off, but, you were doing the McCarthy project in your barn with a couple of your buddies, with the intention of, hey, I want to stay in the game, and I want to get another head coaching opportunity as quick as possible. Last year, with actually having a year off and, joining us once a week, did you learn anything about yourself in terms of your philosophy or how you might change things this time around? How did actually taking a year off maybe make you a better or a different coach moving forward?
I think this year was clearly, the appreciation, for the time with family, which obviously, being grateful for an incredible career that I had to the point, and was very comfortable, with that time with my family. So I just think the biggest thing is, the appreciation about being around the people you love, and I love coaching. I miss the locker room, I miss the staff meetings, I miss game plan days on Tuesday. So all the little things that you're able to take, sit back and think about, and then to get this opportunity with the Steelers, I just frankly, I felt like it was meant to be. And but I would just say, just appreciation for this great life the good Lord has blessed me with.
Little perspective, huh? Give you a little perspective there whenever you step away for a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. And, it's the time that I've had with the kids has been remarkable. It's really the only time as a head coach that, I feel like I'm a better father today than I definitely was a year ago. So, and and I thank you guys because you guys kept my head in the game, so I was able to talk football once a week with you guys, break down the Thursday night game. So, I was able to stay in it enough, but I just had great quality family time this year.
We love to hear that. Anytime somebody's perspective is changed in a positive way where you appreciate everything more, that seems like a good life event. And you didn't pick the games, obviously, because, obviously, but if you were to.
Yeah, still pretty sharp.
Guy pretty good. Yep. Guy was sticking with the game. Guy was sticking with the game for sure. Might know ball a little bit. Okay, speaking of knowing ball, you've coached a lot of legends. I mean, there's a lot of names being thrown that have been in the same, building as you, that have basically built ball in this entirety. So I think that's something that it's exciting that people are learning about your history with quarterbacks. But there's certainly one that has a lot of conversation right now. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Coach, congrats again. It's cool to see you back in Pittsburgh and how much it means to you. One of the first questions you had at your press conference was about Aaron. Have you been able to talk to Aaron Rodgers at all? Has there been any dialogue with him just about next year? I saw a lot of people kind of linking Aaron with James Campen, the offensive line coach that you guys are bringing in with his time from Green Bay. But has there been any more dialogue with that? Has it strictly been kind of just about Will and Mason because they are definitely on the roster? Or have you actually been able to reach out and kind of have an initial back and forth with Aaron?
Yes, I've definitely I've spoken to Aaron a number of times, but I think just like anybody that played the game a long time, particularly at this point of their career, I mean, it's important to get away, and so that's a normal process that I think it's important for all these players to decompress and step away from the season, and that's really the mindset that he's in, and that's really about as far as our conversations have gone as far as if he's coming back or not coming back. So I think it's important for him to, do the things that, he normally does just to step away and to make those decisions. But, you're talking about every player on the roster. I mean, obviously it's a constant as far as the communication between Omar and I, and he always has the roster board open in his office. So, we're talking about these players a number of times a day, just, make sure that I'm getting familiar with them, and, we're just continuing to have a conversation about the direction we want to go.
How do you feel about the whole building? Obviously name game and everything is what it is, and studying faces. And I believe we sent over at the beginning to you, I think names, faces, the whole thing. I think that is something that happens in some places. How is the building? Is there familiar faces in that building, or are you learning everything as you go right here?
I mean, I'm learning everything as I go, but it's, this building hasn't had any change in 19 years, and it's funny because I was talking to Mike Tomlin on the phone the other day, and, he operated out of a different office, and I think the furniture was, it's still there from Bill Cowher. So us three have had a laugh about the furniture, but so I'm getting new furniture, so that's a good gig, just because it's been there for decades. But no, it's awesome. It's right on the river here. I look out my window, right across the rivers is where I grew up, in the neighborhood of Greenfield. So it's super cool. But yeah, learning the names and frankly, at night it takes me a while to get down the hall, just looking at all the great teams from the past and so forth. And it's really you're reliving your childhood all over again. So with the 6 Super Bowl trophies right at the top of the steps and so forth. So super cool facility. It's all football.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that about a Yinzer walking into Pittsburgh Steelers building and just being like, holy hell, what a time. I remember where I was when this happened. Oh, my mom and dad are going to love to see this. Hey, you see this? As they're walking around with you. I mean, it's like a museum you're working in, and I appreciate the fact that you changed over the couches and the furniture from Cowher. There was something that I don't know if Coach Cowher told us. He definitely told us, but I don't know how many other places he told, so I don't want to act like we broke the news or he told it to us specifically. But he said he left 2 beers for Mike Tomlin in the fridge whenever Coach Tomlin took over the job. He said, I think him and Coach Noel, I don't know if they had a relationship or not. And Bill Cowher said he wasn't like him and Tomlin, he was not dropping in on him every day. Hey, this is your team now. But he left him 2 IC lights, I guess, in the fridge. Was there anything left for you in the building, or have you found anything that has been left for you yet in the building?
Well, Bill and Mike have been awesome, through this experience. But I think Mike must have drank them because but I'm sure Mike and I will catch up down the road here and have a couple ourselves. So
okay, that's
it's
awesome.
all good.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the gig. I know there was obviously some loudness outside the building in Pittsburgh before your press conference. Immediately afterwards, everybody learning who you were a little bit more. People were like, we love this guy. We're happy he's back. Not everybody. Obviously, it's Pittsburgh. You know how that's going to go. But, it feels like everybody's excited and rallied, man. We hope you do amazing things.
Well, thank you. And, hey, anytime, it's always great seeing the gang. And we got some great swag over here. And I know how much you guys like black. So we'll make sure we'll send you some. So
he gets it, yeah.
Where's AJ today? No AJ today?
Second hour, Mike. Come on, Coach.
Sleeping still.
Yeah, second hour, right. Coach. He comes in second hour. So, yeah, he probably is sleeping right. You know how he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Snoozing all the time. He's just.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Yep.
Yeah, that is
exactly,
probably accurate. Yeah,
no
exactly. Yeah. Oh, you're the man. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, coach.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, unreal.
Because when we went and did game day back there, and I was just walking through the stadium and the suites, you just see pictures of your childhood. It's like, oh my God. Lloyd with the
Greg Lloyd, yeah.
His face mask, there was a photo where he had those big ass. Remember those obnoxious
nose bar
duck face mask? Yeah, it was just the ridiculous times. And then there's pictures Troy Polamalu whenever he was young, because he played for a while, and a lot of people saw him at the end where amazing it was. But when he was young, and Polamalu was coming into the city first, and he was doing this absurd shit, just absolutely absurd shit. It was a young photo of him flying. You think to yourself, oh, I remember. And you got little young Ben and there, Neil O'Donnell's spinning one. It's holy hell, Cordell Stewart's in there. It's whoa, I remember this entire thing. They need a little bit more Fuamatuma follow love. Okay, Chris was a dog. Chris was an absolute dog. Obviously, Bussy does his entire thing. Hines Ward. It's as you walk through, they do a good job of reminding you, hey, yeah, ball here. This is kind of what we do. Same furniture from Carr's era or something. That's certainly something.
Through Tomlin, he's going to get some new furniture. But it was cool to hear that he has been talking to Coach Cowher and Coach Tomlin because we've talked about multiple times this year, those games where all the players come back. Big Mike's going to keep that going. That's part of the pro of hiring someone who gets the organization and who was born and raised there. He's not going to change it where he's oh, yeah, you past players can't come back. That's not how we do it here. That's going to still be a staple, which is something that I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's very cool. That's part of the coolness of the Pittsburgh Steelers building. What do you say about Aaron there? Hey, Aaron's doing his own thing. Is that what he's saying? He's doing his normal stuff?
Yeah, just kind of a waiting game. He's doing his normal stuff. Who knows what that means? I think if we can all think of something different when it comes to Aaron doing his normal stuff in the offseason. But I do think based on there not being kind of a finite, hey, I'm done after this year, I kind of think that he's going to come back and play for Coach Mike.
Yeah, I think I just assumed, especially when, and again, none of us were in there, so we don't know how true the reports came out, but he was gutted when, Tomlin didn't get fired, but when Tomlin, said he was stepping down. And I think if it would have just stayed that way and it would have been a different head coach, I think it probably would have been pretty easy for him to just be you know what, I am done. But then when McCarthy gets hired as a head coach, I think he's probably you know what, if there was one guy who I would maybe consider coming out of retirement to come play for, it'd be this guy.
Delaying retirement.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Yeah, and Mike McCarthy and he obviously have had great success in the NFL whenever they were at the Green Bay Packers. Different time, different era, different NFL, I would say. 98, 55, and 1 in the regular season. 8th most wins by tandem. 9-7 in the playoffs. Tied 7th most wins by a tandem. He would certainly understand what everybody would want to have happen. His offensive line coach he loves from Green Bay. Campy just got hired. He in New York Jets. Hard Knocks against Carolina Panthers joint practice. Aaron Rodgers basically walks through the Carolina Panthers team, right through their sideline, Wild move. He was the only Jets guy over there on a beeline directly to this guy. And then he started talking shit to him immediately. It's like, oh, these two are very close, it appears. He is now the offensive line coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's like a lot of familiar faces, especially if Scotty Tolzien, who is the former backup quarterback of Aaron Rodgers, is potentially getting an offensive coordinator interview. He was down with Kelly Moe down at the Saints. It's like there's Aaron finding him in the middle. Look, that's Carolina Panthers practice. Aaron just walked his ass right into. It's like, I don't think that's normal. Now, granted, he's Aaron Rodgers, so everybody in the league is like, what up, dude?
Yeah.
We watch you. And you're wild. I assume a lot of people are like, you're wild, man. Like you are, because every player and coach has respect for Aaron Rodgers. Like no matter what he says or how he does. There's a lot of people that hold a lot of things that have happened or he has said, or maybe things that are narratives that have been said or built about Aaron that make them hate Aaron Rodgers. You know, like there is, and Aaron Rodgers certainly is Mount Rushmore quarterback in the history of the NFL. So he's going to draw a lot of attention to begin with. So whenever he's not normal, there's going to be people that think differently about him. But everybody in ball respects him and appreciates him. That's why I think anytime you hear anybody in ball talk about Aaron Rodgers, they're like, if Aaron Rodgers wants to come play, I think we'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
I think we would get, just because everybody in the locker room immediately is like, we got Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. Like that is, and I think that was a big part of the exit interviews, from my understanding with the Pittsburgh Steelers, is a bunch of the OGs met with Khan and met with Rooney and everything like that on their way out. And they were asked, I guess, do you think Aaron Rodgers could still play winning football? And they were all like, yeah, we think Aaron could definitely do it. And that's just like how I think the Pittsburgh Steelers building feels about Aaron. Now, how do Pittsburgh Steelers fans feel about Aaron coming back? How does media, or Dan Orlovsky say?
Oh, yeah.
Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers would be the worst decision of all time. Of all time, I think, like something like that. It's like, that's a fascinating take, because are you destined to potentially just finish in the same spot, which is what everybody's saying? Aaron coming back to play for the Steelers with Mike McCarthy is like, seems like the most likely outcome.
Yes.
It feels like the most likely outcome, but I don't know if everybody has kind of wrapped their minds around that being an actual thing, or I don't know how everybody kind of views it.
Yeah, and I mean, like when things ended how they ended in Green Bay, and there was a lot of conjecture and discussion about him and Big Mike's relationship when Big Mike got fired and Aaron was still there and all that kind of stuff, but like after that all happened, and he has nothing but good things to say about that entire staff, that entire regime. So I just think it's one of those things, and who knows, like, you know, the comfortability he has with that offense. Like, again, you know, the last several years after he's left Green Bay, really ever since LaFleur came in, it's kind of been like marrying what he likes to do along with whoever the new person's system, and it's kind of trying to, you know, like, does it take 8 weeks or however long to kind of find that sweet spot? Like, he doesn't have to do that anymore. He knows exactly what Big Mike wants to do, and Big Mike knows exactly what he likes to do.
Well, on that note, Big Mike, when he was talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers season with us, I think on draft night, and then maybe not draft night because he wasn't on the team yet, had to be maybe early weeks when Mike McCarthy was coming on or whatever. He goes, in this game, you look at his stats, because he's a big stats-oriented guy too. A lot of people don't think that because he's Yinzer or whatever. He goes, you look at the numbers, like, it's going to come down to a drive in the fourth quarter. And he said, there's nobody else in football that I would want to have the ball in the fourth quarter than Aaron Rodgers with a last-second drive or whatever. And I think he said that because he understands Aaron. Aaron has his ability, and I think it's why people can maybe throw a lot of rocks at his stats and shit. First couple quarters, like, Aaron Rodgers is very okay, like, if he throws it 8 times, maybe 6 times. He's trying to figure out what you're doing. He is trying to understand everything that your defense is doing. That's kind of his thing. He's like a computer. So in third, fourth quarter, the reason why Big Mike McCarthy has so much faith in him, it's like by fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers has got this defense figured out. He understands what we're doing. So anything I call, he knows what we're going to need. We're going to be able to have success. There's no way with how Aaron looked at the end of whenever they were running good there that Mike McCarthy is going to change that mindset. Who else is going to be better than Aaron Rodgers that we're going to be able to get in here? I assume Mike McCarthy, who's always been a fan of Aaron publicly, we don't know how it ended privately, but we know publicly both men have certainly said very positive things about each other on our show and to people we know. It's like, what if they do say, hey, let's do it one more run on this thing? We both get buried, kind of, you know? Hey, we both need to win another one. Doing that together? That's a movie. That is a movie in the city of Pittsburgh, too, with Mike McCarthy doing it all. But I think Steelers fans are having a hard time buying in that the movie is going to end with a Super Bowl. Instead, it's going to end with the 13th overall pick again, when it would be nice to maybe end up with the top 3 pick so we can get a organizational changer
Yep.
at the top of the, which is kind of how Steelers fans feel.
Yeah, they're yearning for change after the whole Tomlin run. They are yearning for change, and then Big Mike didn't help when he said that he loves Will Howard in the press conference. So now I think a lot of Steelers fans are yearning for Will Howard next season, and it goes two ways. He's either good and he's your future, or it's really, really bad and you're set up in a good spot for the next draft where, things can change a lot, but it's supposed to be a really good quarterback draft.
It would be a hilarious experience to do an NFL season with Yinzers. And I don't know if enough people know about Yinzers. I think we have brought some spotlight to Yinzers in a more national way. And I would like to say it's an incredible honor for that to happen. But Yinzers are an incredibly passionate bunch. And boy, if they lose faith, they're good at shit talking them losing the faith in you, So an entire season of Yinzers having to ride the wave of understanding, like, hey, we're trying to be bad right now. We're trying to be bad right now. Yeah, right. That would be the loudest, most miserable tried tank job in history. No matter what happens next year, if it's not a successful season, it's going to be loud for Big Mike's ass. And he understands that. All he wants to do is just win ball games out of it. And you see what Liam did. You see what Vrabes did. You see what Ben Johnson did. You see these very quick success stories for these coaches. And it's like Pittsburgh is definitely going to be Will Howard, Mason Rudolph. They got Diego Pavia playing quarterback. Yeah. Steelers fans are going to say, hey, it's your quarterback. Win. This is what you need to do. And if not, if they end up right in the middle of the pack again, it's going to be like, Rooney, you're the dumbest. Why would you even do that? That is possible.
Yes, it is.
McCarthy knows all of that, because his family has told him all of these things already about potentially another coach they were going to hire that is similar to him. So he knows exactly how these people, Yinzers, are. And I think the fact that he still signed up for it and be like, yeah, I'm supposed to be this guy, it feels like it's set up to be that. I'm happy for him. I hope it works out. They win a Super Bowl, that would be a fairy tale movie.
Oh, man.
That'd be a fairy tale movie if they're able to do that.
Well, and I think from a fan perspective, it's easy to say that. But, like, when it is a city like Pittsburgh or New England or Green Bay or something like that, like, when you live and die with what the team does on Sunday, like, no one is okay with just punting a season. You want to watch your team get their ass beat or get beat every single week? No, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get the next guy. Like, Connor got lucky. There's a chance the Patriots go through that. They have that terrible season. And then what happens if you don't get Drake May?
Or Vrabel.
Yeah, or Vrabel. It's like, okay, well, we just threw away this season, and now what? We have to throw away another one? And then you're looking at it, and it's like, before you know it, you've thrown 3 years of your fandom away where you're watching every single game, every second of it, and it's like, you can only do that for so long where you're watching your team get their ass beat every week.
Yeah, and that's why some people just decide to win all the time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And whenever you decide to win all the time, you stay committed to everything that needs to be done. Obviously, you're in the best shape of all time. Obviously, you're the best talker. Got to be the best looker. Got to be the toughest. Got to be the smartest. Business-wise, got to be savvy. But there's only some people in the history of mankind that are able to attain all of those things. Joining us now is a man who is somehow able to accomplish all of that and still has more to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe he is in tomorrow's Royal Rumble, 2 p.m. Eastern. On ESPN
Unlimited.
Our tribal chief, the only tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
What an artist. What a transition. Yeah, only you. You know what I mean? That's why you're the man. That's why they pay it. I was gonna say us, and it is true, it is us, but it's about you right now. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
No, we. But yes, we did go from a team punting on a season to a man who's never punted on anything. A man who takes everything serious. That is why you have climbed yourself to the top of an industry that only a few have been to the top of. You have obviously taken the top of a mountain and raised its altitude somehow to a whole nother level. And now it appears as if we are on the hunt back to the top of said mountain. What does tomorrow look like for Roman Reigns? Obviously, I don't know, this Vision crew, I don't like what they got going on. Okay, they're already talking about being a team in there and beating the hell out of everybody. What is the plan tomorrow? I know you're smarter than everybody. Are we winning this thing? And should we be confident in saying our tribal chief is back?
I didn't come all the way out here for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is from Miami, this is a long travel day. So Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to pull this off in over 10 years now. For the longest, I felt like I was like the gatekeeper, the runner-up guy. They would spam me and try to get that big pop for the baby face or whatever. But I don't know. This feels like me. It feels like me, and I think there's so many different fingers and different signs pointing to this. I think we're at a place where our fans are demanding more. You know what I mean? I set us up. I put us in position, to be fulfilled in the promised land, to be in a position to break records and make ungodly amount of money. And we're at that point that our fans are craving that. So, and they already know it's a proof of concept with me. They know what they're getting with me.
Man, those were the good old days, weren't they? Not too long ago, Roman. Those were good old days, weren't they?
It was a good time, man, but we can't rest on the past. I mean, literally, you know what I mean? When you have a hell of a run like that, I could just sit and rest on my laurels and just let the dump truck continue to let that money flow. But I want to push, man. I have 4 sons. My daughter, she's just entering adulthood. I want to continue to create a shadow, a mountain so big they'll never get out of my shadow. I want to make it tough for them because they're privileged children. Your children are going to be the same way. So we have to create obstacles. We have to create this adversity for them. And why not do it through my success? You know what I mean?
Yeah, goat talk real quick. Yeah, just hey, this is what's happening in this family. This is what's possible, okay? In this bloodline.
That's right.
This is the opportunity. You're going to have to work your ass off for it. Speaking of, we just showed some clips of you walking out there. Hey, Oos. Hey, how do we feel right now? Where are we at? What weight-wise? Because we've seen a couple different. We've seen Powerhouse, and then we've seen shredded, a little quicker, still Powerhouse. But what Roman is entering the Rumble tomorrow?
Well, that's good. We're always strong, no matter. That's just genetics.
Right.
And that's from a lot of work. That's compounded time in the gym. So we're always strong. But yeah, we can always come in a little tighter. It just depends. This is the Royal Rumble. The objective of the game is to not get thrown out. So you want to have a good low center of gravity. You got to be able to squat down and hold on to that rope if need be. But it's the same for me, Rec. Everybody in leave. The Jets going to be fired up, ready to get me up out of here. But yeah, I mean, I've been working. We're coming off of winter break, you know what I mean? Oktoberfest right into holiday season. Yeah. So, we've been grinding it out, but I'm a human, you know what I mean?
Football season's tough.
But we look all right. We'll look all right. But going into Mania, that's the beauty of this is we have so much time to Mania. So we're just going to cruise right in and be comfortable.
Okay. Where are you right now? Is that room, gym? I assume you just live in the place where you're just only going to get greater all the time. I assume hyperbaric chambers right over yonder. I assume, we got a couple.
You must have heard. We got all that down here. Yeah, they got it set up. The gym here is special. They got cold tub. They got infrared sauna. They got Normatex and red light. You're missing it, man. Yeah. Riyadh's not messing around this time. But yeah, I've already been to the gym twice today. I'm going to go back later to try to grind it out before I go to bed to wear myself down. But yeah, that's what it is. We're on 3 days now, full camp type mode, you know what I mean, getting ready. So we'll bring in a solid package tomorrow night, a winning package, but then that Mania is going to get ridiculous.
What time is it over there right now? What is the time difference?
It's tribal chief time. Baby, come on now. It's almost 9. It's AP time, black ceramic. That's what time it is.
Yeah. Obviously, keep living. Okay, we found out via a random FaceTime the other day about an entrant in Royal Rumble. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, my tribal chief, I acknowledge as always. But yeah, Brock Lesnar being in the Rumble, that was news to us, news to you perhaps. Is there any plans with Brock that you have? Is there possibly a you and Brock together kind of take out the vision, take out the wise man's boys after he kind of threw you guys aside, you threw him aside? And, of course, the tribal thief, I hate this guy because of what he's doing in the, word puns he's doing. Do you guys have specific plans, or do you have a specific plan with Lesnar in the Rumble tomorrow?
I'm still caught up on the fact that Brock knows how to work FaceTime. I mean,
Isn't that fascinating?
That's like a killer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, that's tripping me. I didn't even know he had a phone. I figured, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was like old school. You had to call the farm, and then like the farm hand would come, and then he would go to the like lead farm guy, and then, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm surprised he even works the phone. But no, there's no way I can work with Brock. I mean, he's one of my greatest rivals. I can't trust that guy. He was literally just competing with all the Vision boys and all them. And I mean, talk about a group who just
say it.
Talk about the name. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know where they're going. They can't see clearly at all. Vision's probably that's a Seth Rollins where they probably need to have a rebranding right now. But there's a lot of young talent there, and they're physically impressive. Even Logan, you know what I mean? For someone who wasn't a professional athlete or, a D1 guy, he's a hell of an athlete. He was popping me, though, he was just flexing.
On the show. Yeah, unbelievable. Me too. He would see himself.
He was just flexing it up, man. I was like, what's going on here? Yeah, he was feeling it. But he's a hell of a personality. Bronson Reed, he's confused. He should already be acknowledging the trade. He should just bow down to Caesar is what he should do and align properly. He's confused, but sometimes that happens.
Tsunami,
and
sir?
then Breaker.
Go ahead, yes.
Yeah, imagine if I had that at my disposal, just, you know what I mean?
Right to the top, he would go too. He would go right to the
we would find every type of balcony we could drop him off and kill everybody. It would be great.
Yeah, Braun Breaker, I heard
maybe one day I will wield the sword of the tribal thief. Who knows? Maybe he'll be taking direction one day, but we got a lot of footage to climb. We're not there yet.
You were mentioning Braun Breaker before I stopped you there, and I apologize for that because the dogs are barking in Riyadh. We were watching this morning at the pre-show where Michael Cole hosted out there. Dogs are barking in Riyadh. Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman has said, going to be WrestleMania, I believe, next year, year after that, year after that, year after that, year after that. This is... I was lucky to be there at the beginning of the entire ride, and I saw he's explosive. I mean, his spear.
Yeah.
Oh, his spear.
Cuts people in half.
Oh, my God. His spear. They're saying maybe best spear in the history of
Who's saying that?
I didn't say that. I'm just telling you what people were saying. I didn't say that.
That's a lie.
I didn't say this.
If I was a young, insignificant performer, then I would take, a little bit of offense, or I would feel some... competitive nature about that. But a finishing move is a finishing move. I'm such a different type of performer. I'm on a whole different level. We're talking about finisher. We're talking about the spirit. Bro, come on now. Like, you're talking to Mozart here. I create real art. It's not just about running down a ramp and flying through there and hitting somebody. But he's a great athlete. I mean, but we all are, you know what I mean? And as you get older, you got to evolve. You got to learn all the different nuances to this game. You got to sharpen every blade in your set. So I think Breaker's got a hell of a future in front of him. As long as he kind of stays out of my wheelhouse of what I'm trying to do, I think he'll be all right. But he's still got a long ways to go. I'd love to see him not get nervous on ESPN and, get quiet on you, because I think there's a lot of personality there.
What's your problem?
Hey, it takes time, bro.
I agree.
What? I can't. I gotta jab back now. I gotta fight back. We can't just let these kids are calling us old and shit. You know what I mean? So I gotta, we gotta come back. Don't get nervous on national television, son. You know what I mean?
That was awesome. Yeah, so complimentary.
But not even national. This is global. This is Pat McAfee. You can't. You know what I mean?
You're in Saudi Arabia right now. This is pretty crazy to us. This is a pretty crazy situation that's taking place, and we're obviously very grateful for our tribal chief making time for us.
Hell yeah.
Every time you're on our show, you're electrifying, you're awesome, and there's a reason why, there's a Mount Rushmore 4, there's a Mount Rushmore 4, and then there's a mountain that's being built, on the other side, all by its damn self. And on that note, Ty has a question for you for tomorrow.
Yeah, Roman, I would agree with Connor. I just real quick would like to acknowledge my tribal chief as well, if everyone here wants to do it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm just curious. You said, okay, so like there is some good talent in the WWE right now, but do you kind of just notice like, hey, you know what? I think it's time. I got to come back this weekend, make everyone kiss the ring and kind of acknowledge that, like, yeah, hey, the Vision, that's the cool new thing. Seth Rollins is on, he's doing the car wash on every single channel on TV right now. I've seen him 50,000 times over the last 3 days, but is it nice every once
just
in a while?
grasping on the relevancy, right?
Well,
just please see me.
And it's the same thing, because we kind of had the same conversation when we were in Vegas last year for WrestleMania. But do you kind of just pick and choose and let people know, like, okay, hey, you guys can kind of do your thing, but when I come back, when the big dog comes back into town, like, this is my show, and it will always be my show?
I think, there's always a mindset of that, but to be completely honest and transparent here, 2 years ago, it all changed around, and what I've been doing out there hasn't exactly been the same of what I've done before. And the way I look at it is, I'm a generous tribal chief. I give the people plenty of time. These young talent, they say we hog all the TV time. They'll complain about one thing, and then I leave an opening. I give them plenty of space to create, whatever type of superstardom they want. Get over, kids. Yeah. Get over. You know what I mean? And we're 2 years here now. And we haven't advanced. We haven't evolved. You know what I mean? We have great leadership. And Nick Cotton, God bless him, what a businessman. He's a genius. But we have to be able to keep up with that creatively. And that's why people like me, people who are striving to be the very best, the greatest, the GOATs, the MJs, I just can't sit around and see mediocrity. Not when I set it up for everybody to just slam it home. We're on Netflix, for crying out loud. Come on! You gotta capitalize. We got people over here playing around trying to figure it out. And I got the formula. I know how to cook it up. You know what I mean? So it's been a tough couple of years for me. But at the same time, when you come off such a hell of a run, you gotta kind of just pump the brakes for a second. I got 5 children at home. I wear, we all wear those 2 important hats, being a husband and a father. You got to be able to, click. And I've been on the road for a long time. So I needed to be able to pull back a little bit. But I'm fully capable. I'm only 40 years old. With all the tech and all the information we have now, I feel like I'm 25 years old. So I'm still good to go. You know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate you doing your schedule to help the other talent, not yourself. Because obviously, if you wanted to help yourself,
it's a help them, help me. We're all helping each other. You know what I mean?
Of course, it's good for all parties.
But like I said, you gotta get the reps. Got to get the reps.
And also, go ahead, come on.
Yeah,
that's the business. That's been the business.
Yeah. It's anytime now. You know what I mean? Like
that's been the business. That has been the business. People said it before you hit your entire thing. Cena. Hey, who? And then before that. It was obviously Rock or Austin.
Yeah, Rock, Austin.
One of them, and before that it was, Hall and whatever. And then before that it was, so it feels like that has always been this business, and I want to let you know the fact that you just dropped the whole I'm 40 and I still got a lot of time left. That's good news for the business.
Yes, it is.
Hey, that's good news for the business, Roman. And I like what I'm hearing out of you. It sounds like we're about to maybe go on one of these types of runs again that are going to be talked about in documentaries 20 years from now. Is that what we're feeling? Is that how the body feels? Is that how the mental kind of aligns right now?
Always capable. Always capable. You know what I mean? Like that's just built in, just staying ready, what else am I going to do? This is what I do. This is my livelihood. This is how I feed my children. This is how, I create the abundance. So why not stay in shape? Why not stay mentally sharp and in tune with the game? This is my family's art form. That's why it's so important to me. That's why I'm not BSing when I'm talking about representing my legacy, furthering our story, taking our book to different levels and be able to create different chapters. And if I'm able to do it at the highest level, inspire my family members to follow my lead, can't nobody stop us, man. You know what I mean? To me, we're the first family of wrestling. Nobody else Can't touch us.
Okay, so Young Rock, I think, exposed that even more so. You know, when I watch Young Rock, which obviously they hinted out with you and Dwayne potentially in a future WrestleMania, you guys are wrestling in a living room and about to get after it, and they pause, and The Rock's character looks and goes, "That's for WrestleMania, kid," basically said that. It was like a tease, oh, we're going to get it, we're going to go get it. But what I learned through that, and then obviously every other documentary, and then when you guys were doing the Bloodline angle and they put that tree up there, why do you think the Usos have been such a great professional wrestling kind of group of people? Like, why do you think it is kind of in your guys' blood, like, actually? Because if you look at the history of the entire industry, Usos throughout all of it, you know, it feels like that is kind of a, why is that? Do we know the exact, like, beginnings of it all or how we got there?
I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah, I'm going to learn you right now. We're just great athletes, first of all. I mean, that just, you know, there's got to be, you guys might know, there's got to be some kind of Polynesian percentage for the NFL and even other sports, but especially the NFL. I think there's got to be some crazy percentage of men that make it to the NFL that are Polynesian. So the athletic size and we're big. So you have to, you know, that all works. But within our culture, it's surrounded around storytelling. When you grow up on an island, you know what I mean? There's not that much to do. So you have to be able to entertain each other and you have to be able to tell stories. And that's how all, like, you know, indigenous cultures, you know, people, ancient people, that's how you keep the information, is these stories and these myths. And you can't be up there in front of the fire, like, owning it with a boring story. You got to be able to, you know what I mean? You got to be able to spin it. You got to be able to tell that story and be an orator. And we actually have them. You have high chiefs, you have matais and speaking chiefs within our culture. So it's built in. So I just think it's a perfect recipe of the genetics that God has given us, you know, as Islanders and Polynesian Samoans. And then just our history and our culture and the customs of our people and being on the islands and just having that communal, you know, gathering and just sharing these stories about our history and our ancestries. And it's all the way here in modern day, and we're just doing a weird WWE way now.
No, it's not weird at all. It's beautiful, actually. That was awesome to hear. You're actually born for it.
Yeah.
Isn't that a crazy thing? Actually born for it. And the way you tell it, it makes so much sense. Well, we'll see if tomorrow continues to add to that incredible family bloodline legacy. And we'll be watching 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Unlimited. Our tribal chief, fresh out of a 3-a-day fight camp.
Hell yeah.
Right into the Royal Rumble. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Same, bro. Always. Thanks, man.
Hey, Seahawks might be running that NFC West for like the next 10 years, bro.
When you're the dynasty, when you're one of the dynasties, you know what I mean? We gotta share the wealth. And what happened? We were down for like 2 years, and we were back in 5. I'm not worried about the Niners. The culture between Lynch and Shanahan, the coach, we're killers over there. We have like 50 injuries and still went as far as we did.
Yeah.
We got to get that conspiracy stuff figured out, though. We need to get that power plant shut. Whatever seriously. It is, we need to shake and bake and move that stuff or get that stuff. I don't know. Something's got to happen. We need to look into this.
I'll tell you that, and you know this as the always aware tribal chief that you are. The other side's going to have an argument. You know, that electric company, they are going to have an argument in this entire thing. There's no way we're going to get a good study. This study's going to take 20 years to get done. Mm-hmm. You know how that goes.
Bunch of power companies out there, whole bunch of power companies out there. Only one Niners, baby. They got to remember that. Hey, Santa Clara, you know, we'll go back to San Francisco. We need to figure this out now. Like, support the team, the local team now. You know how it is.
Yeah, let's win. Okay, Niner gang. All right, well, I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, brother.
Safe travels back to America. Our tribal chief, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns.
Hey, Roman!
That was hilarious. Actually, our people are known storytellers, you know, because we're on an island. The only way that the history gets passed on is by telling the stories. And then you think of like Moana. I just watched Moana. And then you think of like every other cave and stuff that kind of has stories being wrote and told for future generations. And then like very lucky that I've been able to go to Hawaii and you talk about like the way they talk, how they talk, the stories, the history. It's like, oh my God, there is there is a reason why the Polynesian people are the best at professional wrestling. Because they are. I mean, whenever they were doing that bloodline angle, and they put that tree up,
So cool.
Okay, here's the history of wrestling in this one family bloodline. Now, granted, cousins, uncles, the whole, not everybody's just father. His dad, Saka, I believe one of the Wild Samoans is Roman Reigns' father, passed away. Sika, I think. Yeah, Sika. Okay, yeah, it is Sika is his father. So his dad was in the business. But then and the Uso brothers' dad in the business. They are cousins with each other, grew up same street with each other. But then there's also other family members that are in there, like Nia Jax. Like, these are all just the current people. And then you go back like every generation. It goes, it is.
It's a big tree.
Oh, yeah.
It is absolutely insane. It's like, thank you for your contributions to wrestling and to our entertainment in our childhood. Like, legitimately.
I think we saw that for the first time at the Super Bowl. You guys were doing your press conference, and we were sitting in the crowd, and then somebody slapped somebody, and that tree was up there looking so beautiful.
Yeah, who got slapped? The Rock got slapped? Or The Rock did the slap?
Rock did the slap.
Slapped
The Rock
Cody.
Slapped Cody
right in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty tense day.
It was.
Call him a bitch, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Roman said there? Roman said, we've been waiting, People are craving a little bit more. What a thing to say at this time of the business.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a couple times. Hey, can't be getting nervous on ESPN. Little slight of a, he said a bunch of things in there that are like very, we appreciate our tribal chief.
Always.
I got a chance to be there for that. A lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
That tribal chief run.
Oh, yeah.
It's lonely at the top.
It was awesome. What do you mean by that, brother?
He talked about he's definitely not friends with Seth. He's not friends with the Vision. He's not friends with Brock. When you get in there with 30 other men, maybe women, I don't know.
We watched 2000.
Yeah.
China
came
rest
out
in peace. She was in there. Yeah, she got a couple.
It's going to be lonely in there potentially.
Royal Rumble should be exciting tomorrow. I mean, Roman feels like he's trying to win this thing,
Oh, yeah. And also the way he talked about the Vision. I don't know. Maybe they got something in their back pocket.
What?
He was complimentary, wasn't he?
I don't know. Yeah, he didn't talk down as much as I thought. And maybe the tribal thief might get thieved.
Oh, stolen.
Something to think about.
Hour 2 will be on the other side of this break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We'll see you on the other side.
But it is great to be down here in T-Town, Alabama. Now, let's do a little history here, shall we? This is, what's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby, you're a senior here, right?
That's correct.
And what is your major?
Chemical engineering.
Okay. Okay, have you ever kicked anything before?
No.
Okay, but you said you want to do it, not get somebody else because...
Yes, because I camped out for so many hours with my friend, and I got lucky enough to get picked, so let's go for it.
Yes!
Yeah!
Yes!
All right!
We love that, Gabby. $300,000 if you make this kick right here, Gabby, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
That seems fair. I don't know what a chemical engineering degree costs, but hopefully that'll help towards it all.
My parents would love that.
Okay.
I'll throw in 200 as well.
He started to $500,000. All right, Gabby.
Okay.
Good luck. We're pulling for you. 33 yards. All you got to do is make the kick. Good luck, Gabby.
Okay. Thank you.
Any final thoughts?
I love you, Mom and Dad and brother.
Love that, Mom and Dad. Hope you have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabby Mathis, chemical engineer, senior here at Alabama, will attempt to win $500,000.
Oh, it's come to this, huh? It's come to this. It's come to this.
Yeah, why'd you smack me in the face? Kirk just smacked me in the face. How about this? How about this, Gabby? If Kirk Herbstreit can throw that football through those uprights right there, we'll give you $300,000. Are you okay with that? $300,000. If Kirk Herbstreit can throw it through those uprights, former Ohio State quarterback.
Oh, boy.
No warm-up, full suit for Gabby. Get Gabby, get Gabby, get Gabby. He got Tyson's Gabby. All right. It's getting even more pricey. Kirk Herbstreit, I did not know you had that in you. You son of a bitch!
Oh, that's great.
Gabby, it's for you, your mom, your brother, the whole family. Congratulations, and Kirk. Good on you, man. It was close. Back to you, Reese. Jeez. Way to go, Gabby.
Hey, what a moment. You know, I love the fact that Gabby wanted the experience. The old blue-eyed Buckeye still got a little sing in that arm of his.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, Dwight, let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Super Bowl season, Feel Good Friday, January 30th, 2026, hour 2 of the program begins now. Football! It is magical. There's some breaking news out of the football world, and we need to discuss it. It's not just me, obviously. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. And a man joining us live from Manatee, Ohio, is a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, AJ Hall. AJ, good to see you, brother. How's life?
Doing great. Big Mike was awesome on here, so appreciate him doing that.
Yeah, Big Mike was awesome. I'm thankful he took his time. Happy to hear your...
And Roman Reigns, sorry. Tribal Chief was unbelievable as well.
Thank you for acknowledging. Obviously, Big Royal Rumble tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Unlimited.
Okay, news happened in the NFL while we were talking to our Tribal Chief who will look to win the Royal Rumble tomorrow on ESPN Unlimited. General Manager for the Minnesota Vikings, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, has been fired. Joining us now, the man that broke the news, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Hey.
Schefter, good to see you. Hope the kitchen's doing well. Okay, tell me about the Kwesi Adofo-Mensah firing. This feels late in the cycle. What do they do from here? How'd they get to this point?
Well, it is late in the cycle. It's an unusual time to fire somebody when he had been in Mobile at the Senior Bowl all week long, working for the Vikings, and then you come back to chilly Minnesota and deliver the news just a short time ago, minutes ago, that you are firing Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Now, let me say this, that I think one of the things that people talked about in the league all during the year was the tension that existed within the Vikings organization. And there were people who said, someone just texted me this morning, they go, I told you it was ugly in Minnesota. And there was all sorts of talk. People didn't like people didn't get along, tension. I remember speaking to our Vikings reporter, Kevin Seifert, about it a few weeks ago. We had thought that there was a transfer of some power from the front office to the coaching staff, that the coaching staff had been given more power. The point is, Pat, there's a lot to this. There's a lot that's going to come out on this particular situation. But the way it was set up was not working for people. Okay. And the Vikings made the decision to fire him. Now, they have inserted their longtime executive vice president, Rob Brzezinski, into the role, the leadership role. He will lead the team through the draft. So that tells you that they're not in any rush to go hire some new general manager right now. Rob Brzezinski will lead the team. And then after the draft, they will do a search for a new general manager.
Okay, it sounds like Kevin O'Connell's doing the leading of the team, feels like, if that is what you are kind of talking about, the power going. And if you need to answer that, certainly answer that. If it's any more information or breaking news, we appreciate you obviously joining us here with little to no warning. So it sounded like somebody wasn't happy that maybe J.J. McCarthy had to be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't want to just point to one thing, but because there was reports that maybe Aaron Rodgers would go to the Minnesota Vikings. And then there was rumblings maybe coach was like, yes, just like any player or coach in the NFL would naturally do normally, is like Aaron Rodgers can potentially be, especially if the coach is a quarterback, I could really make some magic. There was allegedly interest there, and then ultimately a decision was made to go with J.J. McCarthy, and let alone Sam Darnold. Interest had to be there. Now we're going to go with J.J. McCarthy. Sam Darnold now obviously in the Super Bowl. Is that where it kind of begins and ends? I don't want to kind of...
Look, here's the deal. When you have the quarterback situation that they did this past year, where Daniel Jones was in the building and Sam Darnold was in the building, and they leave, clearly there are going to be questions that are asked and blame that's assigned. Now, I'm not telling you that this was a Kwesi Adolfo Mensa decision or a Kevin O'Connell. I don't know exactly how it came out. I do remember that they wanted and tried to keep Sam Darnold. They made an offer to him, and it just so happened that the market was such that there was more money out there and a team that wanted him even more than Minnesota, which had drafted J.J. McCarthy. Daniel Jones, they also attempted to re-sign. They tried to re-sign both those guys. And it wasn't happening at that moment. So they wanted to keep both, but they also had a commitment to J.J. McCarthy that they drafted in the first round. And that's an organizational decision. I don't know, who drafted him over the other one, but they all signed off on it, I think, obviously. And I know that they definitely worked to keep Darnold and Jones, and both wanted and were willing to leave.
Yeah, and you and I know what that means when a team wants to keep somebody or they don't want to keep somebody or they're interested but not actually. Sam Darnold's deal is not that huge of a deal whenever it comes to quarterback deals that he took to go to Seattle. Now, I did hear they took less money to go to Indianapolis. Now, granted, that was only like $10 million. So whenever you talk about what the deals could be with Minnesota offering, not that I want to just continue to pick. Was that? Go ahead.
No. I think Minnesota offered... I think Minnesota was offering Sam Darnold way less than Seattle. Seattle was about $35 million a year.
Yeah,
and
55 guaranteed, I think.
Minnesota came in way less, I believe.
Exactly, which goes back to what I was asking you about, we want you.
Right. Well, here's the deal. Teams' offers always speak volume. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
right?
Yes, Schefter.
It's not about the money, but it's always about the money.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Says to you how much we're prioritizing you. The money says how much we want you. So if you're the Vikings, we want you. We want you to the tune of $20 to $25 million a year or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Seattle, they want you $35 million a year. So Seattle wants you more than Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Yeah, that's how business works in professional sports, at least. Now, granted, there are guys that make decisions to do stuff, and allegedly Daniel Jones took less money here to come to Indianapolis because of the opportunity potentially. It worked out for us great. I didn't even think about Daniel Jones because of how long he's been injured. Having to see Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl after he won 14 games or whatever with you guys a year before that, let alone Daniel Jones like the number one in it. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
That's next year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Break that news, Schefter. Daniel Jones coming back going to be the number one quarterback in the league, and the Vikings let him out. Maybe that's why Kwesi is currently not the Minnesota Vikings general manager, but I'm sure there was other decisions they were making as well. Quickly, before we let you go, other conversation. Myles Garrett. I've been watching the Monken introduction over there in Cleveland. There's people just getting coffee in the back as if they're shooting tires, Shane Gillis' show, as he walks into the building. Everybody else has these massive shots of people walking in the building, the entire building, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Doing the entire thing. Monken walks in there, dressed casual. Love what he's doing there. Jeans with the loose dress shirt and the sport coat. I'm here to be professional, but I'm a ball guy. Okay, obviously. Walks in front desk. Almost made him check in. They didn't. Hey, sorry I didn't bring the bench. There's people just getting coffee in the back. People just walking around. Yep, no big deal. New head coach is here. Every other building we've seen, everybody there clapping for the person. And then obviously got Myles Garrett posting on his IG story. What's going on in Cleveland? And what do we expect the future to look like up there for the Browns? Because I like to think their fans are a good fan base in the NFL. But it just feels like there's always shit happening around Brownie the Elf. What are your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns and how it's kind of rolled out and what we should look for?
Well, here's the deal. Todd Monken is a very good football coach. He really is. I got no problems at all with hiring Todd Monken. The phone's just going nuts. I got no issues with Todd Monken. The issue is that you plugged one damn or one leak and you created another. Like you wanted to build up the offense, and so you brought in somebody that knows offense in Todd Monken, a football coach, and now you're going to probably wind up losing Jim Schwartz. So now your defense suffers. And I think they felt like our defense is so good that if we could just get somebody to elevate the offense, then we'll be in good position and good shape. So they got Todd Monken. He's going to do that. But now, I know Jim Schwartz has got 2 years left on his contract, but we're talking about how money shows you certain appreciation in whatever business. And it's the same thing in any business. If you don't get the job that you applied for, the promotion that you wanted, and it went to somebody else, you're not going to feel great about staying with that particular company, right? So now it's up to those two sides to figure out how they're going to go on and probably break up. I know the Browns want Jim Schwartz back, but Jim Schwartz doesn't want to be back. So how's that going to end up?
Haslam's done this before. Haslam's done this before. Hey, you don't like me? Go talk to Andrew. I'm not even taking a meeting with you. Andrew, what's he need? Money. Give him the most.
Make him the highest paid coordinator in the NFL.
The guy in Houston does not want to come to Cleveland no matter what we offer him. Oh, yeah? What's the offer? Yeah, make him the most of all time. And then he goes in there. Can easily do that with Schwartz right now. I'm sure there is somebody that knows what coordinators are worth. What is an average coordinator salary in the NFL right now? Pretty high, I would assume, or no?
I will say this, that the coaching salaries this offseason have spiked. And they've gone up quite a bit. And it speaks to, number one, how important the coaches are, and number two, how desperate the teams are to have them. Like Tennessee hires Robert Saleh, and they're planning around having Brian Daboll, and then they might lose Brian Daboll, but they get him, so they're relieved. The Ravens are going to hire Jesse Minter, and they'd like to go get Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator, and then Joe Brady gets a head coaching job. The Giants hire John Harbaugh, and they love that. He's a great coach. And he's going to bring Todd Monken, but Todd Monken gets the Browns head coaching job. So it's great to hire a defensive or special teams coach, a great leader. Look in the Super Bowl this year, Mike McDonald and Mike Vrabel, two defensive-minded coaches. But if you don't have a plan and you lose your guy on the offensive side, or you're an offensive guy and you lose your defensive guy,
oh no,
it's some issues. See, Vrabel had it perfect because Josh McDaniels had been a head coach and nobody was going to hire coach, and he lived in Foxborough. It was teed up. With Mike McDonald, he fired last year his offensive coordinator and hired Clint Kubiak, who now is going to be a head coach in the league after this Super Bowl. So if you have the right guy, it looks great. But if you don't and you lose your guy, now you're scrambling.
Sounds like you're saying, hey, Harbaugh, who are you going to go? Who's behind door number 2? I'm excited to find out who it is as well.
No. They'll find somebody.
Of course.
But it wasn't who they planned, because that guy's the head coach in Cleveland now.
Who's Kubiak getting? Which job?
Well, he's going to get the Raiders or he's going to get the Cardinals job.
Okay, so he's definitely getting one of those jobs.
He's definitely getting one of those jobs.
Okay.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you, Schefter. We appreciate you, man. You're the best.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Schefter.
That's breaking news.
But the first pick or the third pick?
Yeah. It's up to you, bud.
And the other team, no coach.
Phoenix, Vegas, what do you want to do? How do you want to live? That was, huge news there out of Minnesota. And it sounded like as he was talking, it was like there was a power transfer to the coaches. There was disagreements in the building. It's like, so that normally is a case of, we don't think you did the right stuff with the players. Whose job is that? It's that job or that. That's why alignment is such a big deal. But boy, if it gets out of line, I think cutting is the right move. Because if two guys or a girl and a guy, whatever the case is in the future, if they are not on the same page, they're working against each other, trying to prove that they are the right one so they can stick around. So cutting it off, if that is the case, is the right play, I think, personally. And it feels like they're empowering Kevin O'Connell here. That's what it feels like.
The timing seems very weird to get rid of your GM right now. January 30th when he's at the Senior Bowl. That makes you think like, okay, this has been an ongoing thing for a long time, and then they just finally pulled the trigger now, which is kind of just a weird time, I think.
Well, the narrative kind of started going from, because we talked about Kevin O'Connell, like, hey, this guy can win with any quarterback. It doesn't matter who he gets in there. And then the Darnold stuff happens, and we see what happens with JJ this year, and it started to become kind of like, well, are we sure KOC knows what he's doing too? So I wonder if that was part of like a, hey, no, I wanted Darnold, and this guy said he'd get it done, and he lowballed him, and then Darnold decided to go to Seattle.
So many different thoughts. And Schefter said, we're going to hear a lot about this. Because Kwesi's team is certainly going to want people to understand where he's coming from. That is certainly a part of this entire gig. Just like that electric company over there in Santa Clara, they're going to have their side.
Yeah, they will.
They're going to have theirs. They're going to have their things
Big
arguing.
electric.
You think they're going to want to move that entire power plant? You think they're going to shut that down?
No.
No way. I'm worried about that over there.
They're not shutting that.
They got a great argument.
Who?
Tell you that much. The electrical company.
Yeah, we started to see their game plan. We started to see their game plan, and I'm telling you what, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. But we understand what they're saying. I just don't think that's necessarily great for, any of it. If you're Niners are an older team too.
Oh yeah,
we don't need.
Yeah.
They see them. They're still trained. They're getting back after it right now. Like they are.
Which is part of the conversation the electrical company has.
We'll talk to a few of them next week. Can't wait to hear their thoughts on it all. Joining us now, speaking of next week, is a man who's going to be a captain of a team in the Celebrity Sweat Flag football game. He'll be taking on Quavo at Cal Memorial Field on Cal Berkeley's campus. His team, we assume, going to win. Because this guy, you look at his resume, people have forgot. I don't think people have put enough respect on this man's name. To read off all his accolades, it would literally take 10 minutes at this point.
Yep.
I think all of us kind of forgot because we don't talk about it nearly enough. This man, they called him Superman. Obviously, this man, DH12. This man is a Taiwan beer leopard legend, an NBA icon and Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight.
How are you, dude?
Taiwan beer leopards is crazy. Thank you for the team, Taiwan. Shout out. Oh, man.
Is that the team? We tried to do some journalism. That's the actual team, right? The beer leopards?
Well, when I played, they were just the Taiwan leopards. And then the next year they combined with two teams and became the Taiwan beer leopards, which was cool. That's when Boogie played with them.
Okay, so you're just a leopards legend. We will have to strike that from the record. It's a Taiwan leopard legend. That's 100% on me. But hey, before we talk to you about what you have going on next week, which is sweet, raising money for local food bank and other stuff, and also providing tickets for military and first responders, what you guys are doing is awesome. I think it's the 26th annual flag football game you're doing with Celebrity Sweat. This is the graphic we made with all your accolades. I don't think it gets talked about nearly enough, Dwight. And I'm only saying that because I, sports stooge on a regular basis, forgot about a lot of this shit. You had a run in the NBA that was obviously phenomenal. So we appreciate the fact that not only are you back, with your podcast, back doing shit, but also potentially getting some flowers. We appreciate your time, man. Thank you for joining us here, Dwight.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And that's amazing, man. Thank you. I'm really honored, just to receive flowers. A lot of times, people get flowers when they're not here and they can't actually be present.
Yeah, take it in, Dwight. Take it in.
So,
take it in right now.
Man, thank you, man. It really means a lot, man, just to be on the show, to actually hear you, what you were just reading off about, my resume as a basketball player. It's just crazy that, I spent my whole life wanting to become one of the greatest players ever. And, as a kid, I had the dream, and actually to fulfill it, it's just amazing. And just so humbled and thankful for you. And just this awesome opportunity to play against Quavo in the Super Bowl. I know it's not basketball, but, this is going to be a lot of fun to, help be out there with the first responders and the people who serve our country, who we triple salute. And just always giving back is something that I enjoy doing.
Hell yeah, Dwight. Well, we appreciate you doing that. Good for society. And yeah, man, all the things that you dreamt about only came to fruition because you had to have worked your ass off. Okay, so that's what I respect. That's what we respect here. We know how hard it is to make it and everything. A lot of people want to do it. Obviously, you're 6'10", had a little bit of an advantage maybe over me. I was working my ass off on throwing it up and then hitting it off the backboard and then dunking it. I was trying my best. I don't think I ever got it, Dwight. I don't think I ever got it.
But it's okay. What you're doing now is what your purpose is for this season in life.
Hell yeah, Dwight.
So,
woo! Hell yeah.
Hey.
Thank you, man. Okay, let's talk about next week a little bit. What is this? Is it a flag football game? Are you quarterback coaching? How's it kind of go? I know we got some names already in the game. It's the 26th annual. What do you have going on, and what is your plans here to get a dub?
Well, I just really want to get out there and have a great time and enjoy the moment, if I'm the quarterback, if I'm the wide receiver, if I'm coaching, whatever it may be. I just want to go out there and have a great time, to celebrate the 60th Super Bowl. So this is a big year. I just turned 40. My dad just turned 70, and we get to go see the 60th Super Bowl. And I also be a part of the whole weekend festivity. So I'm just so grateful. Had a wonderful career, and I can't wait to go out there and put on a good show.
Is Diplo on your team or the other team? Do you know who's on the team?
Diplo is on my team. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we need Diplo in the squad. Doug Flutie is on your team or the other team?
Doug Flutie is on the other team.
Oh, no! Dwight?
Quavo.
Quavo, that's a good draft pick by
I know. I love Doug Flutie. Oh, my God. He lefty, too. Man, yeah. But
he plays the
I think we're going to have Jesus. I think Jesus is coming.
Hey, Jesus?
Nazareth?
Yeah, Jesus is coming to play on the team.
Well, that's great. Holy shit. On that note, Cal Memorial Stadium, Thursday, February 5th, 7 to 9 p.m. You have no idea who's going to be on these rosters. There's a chance anybody's there.
Anybody will be there.
Quavo versus Dwight Howard. Okay, let's talk a little bit about basketball. How do you feel about the current state of the way the game is being played? Obviously, in basketball, you hear a lot of old heads talking. Feels like you guys view it much more like a fraternity because there's not as many people that make it to the NBA than maybe some other sports. Feels like there's a lot of distaste for maybe the modern stage of basketball. What are your kind of thoughts on where we land right now with NBA hoops?
I can understand both sides, as a member of the Hall of Fame and playing basketball my whole life and being in this fraternity of basketball, it's a certain standard and level of play that we would love to see. But we also understand that times are changing. We have to adapt and be able to change with the times as well. But the best thing we could do as the retired players, the players that are no longer, playing at a high level, is give back, go back into the communities, go back and teach and, really get the fundamentals of the game and also help the parents. I think every parent wants to see their kid be that next superstar in the NBA or whatever sport it is, but they might not understand how hard it really takes to get there, the amount of work that the parents have to put in, the kid have to put in, and it takes a lot. And it's so much harder for these kids, I think, now to be able to, get into a sport or, get into the working field because of technology. So it's a lot that us as players can really do to give back. But, with basketball, I love it. I think the game is entertaining. These young kids are getting better and better. And I only want to see the best in these kids. Cooper Flagg, 40 points,
49
rebounds, 49 points as a 19-year-old. That's amazing to see. I know how hard it is to play at this level, and I'm so proud of the young kid and Jason Kidd for taking a chance and putting him at the point guard position at a young age and just letting him learn the game. And he's doing such a great job, and I'm really proud of his growth and this effort that he's playing with. Keep it up, young fella. Keep it up.
Oh, yeah. I love to hear that. Thank you for doing it. Any other players that you just want to shout out randomly, definitely do that throughout the rest of this whole conversation. Anytime.
Oh, man. Tyrese Maxey, he is killing it.
So fast.
Wemby is my favorite player now.
Okay, so what would you do there? Because he's a foot taller than you, right?
Man, he's a foot taller than me. I'm going to just have to get him 3 hard fouls. Hey, go sit your big ass on the bench somewhere, man. But I love what he's doing, man. The fact that he's using his height and he's just going to be, I think, he has the ability to be one of the best players all time. Once he learns how to really dominate the paint, and then when they try to stop that and put a smaller guard on him, just shoot over the top like KD does. And I think he has the right mentality. He's locked in. He's focused on being one of the greatest. His summer, I think last summer, training with Monks, going with KG, all the stuff he's doing, you can tell like he's in it to be one of the greatest, So I think the game is in good hands when you got players, oh my God, like Wemby, man. They really love what they do. Him, Jokic, all these guys, man, what they're doing with the game of basketball.
This guy's unguardable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's unbelievable. He seemingly never misses.
Joel.
Hallie.
And they're so smart now, And not saying that we weren't smart, but they figured out it's like they seen what we did and they've added on to it with this new age. And
evolution, brother. That's just evolution of sport. That's why judging one era to the next is kind of impossible.
You can't do that. I hate doing that, and I tell people comparison is a thief of joy. When you're trying to compare this era to the next, you're taking out the joy in the life of basketball by doing that. These kids grew up watching a lot of us play. It's their time. Let's give them their props and help them when we can, but let's not put them down, man. We need more positivity, especially from the old heads.
Hell yeah, Dwight. Hall of Famer talking right there. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Dwight, you mentioned Jason Kidd, obviously a great player and a great coach. Now we got JJ Redick in LA. Are we going to see more coaches or more players, you think, transition from playing to coaching like we are to become head coaches? I know in the NFL, we see Mike Vrabel, we see all these guys that were great players becoming great coaches. Is that going to be a trend you think that's going to, be an uptick as we look forward?
And I would love to see that because we want to keep the name of basketball going. It's such the game and what it's done for me and a lot of players around the world, the inspiration, the gratitude that we have for it. We want to have it in the best hands. And, I think a guy like Rondo would be an amazing coach because he was an amazing point guard. These guys would be amazing coaches. So, I really do believe it's time for, these players to come back and give back to the game because I believe the era that, I played in, the Kobe era, KG, that Tim Duncan, Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, that's like the best era of basketball. It was really like the golden age. It was everybody. And it was an interesting matchup every night, even though it wasn't they would say name brand centers back when I was playing. But I'm fighting against 4 or 5 centers every single night. And you got Dirk Nowitzki, you got KG out there, you got Dwayne Wade, you got some of the greatest guards ever, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James in his prime. It was an amazing time for baskelight.
It certainly was. And if you guys are going to continue to get back and give back, we just saw Rondo's 8th grade son.
Yeah.
Dominating.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. He's in 8th grade.
Yes.
That was outrageous. I don't know the basketball community well enough. I know you got drafted out of high school. I assume whenever you were in 7th, 8th grade, they probably said hey, this guy probably going to the NBA. I think that happens in basketball more. He's dominating varsity in 8th grade. Is that normal? That feels abnormal. I
feel like it's because it's Rondo and the knowledge that he has for the game, he's putting it right in his son, every single day. His son was there when we won the championship. You go back and you look at the footage of Rondo on the floor with his son. His son is taking in all that wisdom and knowledge and understanding from one of the greatest point guards ever now, and he's dominating high school basketball with calm, with ease, and he's only going to get better. So just imagine in 4 years what he's going to be like. He might be able to get drafted out of 11th grade.
Whoa.
As great as he's going to be.
Speaking of getting drafted out of 11th grade, there's a chance you could still go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Dwight, I'm just curious. I doubt you have many regrets about your basketball career because you fared very well. But we hear a lot about NIL now and how guys maybe stay a year longer or whatever the case may be because they're making millions and millions of dollars. Do you think if that would have been in place when you came out of high school, that would have been something you considered? Or do you remember what the thought process was behind when you decided to go straight from high school to the NBA?
I wanted to go number one. I didn't think about nothing else but going number one in the draft, being the number one player and trying to become one of the greatest basketball players ever. That was my only mindset, my only goal. I truthfully never even looked at the money aspect of it until once I got to the NBA. It was about the business and basketball. I just solely looked at it as, man, I want to be one of those greats. I want to be like the Shaqs, the Wilt Chamberlains, the Kareems. I want to be like those guys when I'm done playing. So that was just my mindset. I didn't think about college because I felt like college was this place for me to really understand and figure out what to do with my life. And at this point right here, I already knew what I wanted, already knew where I wanted to be. It was only going to be me, the gym, and hard work, how much I was going to put in to get there.
The high school to the NBA days created so many legends.
Oh, God.
Just absolutely.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
One of them,
It's so hard.
GOATs, obviously, in that conversation. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Dwight, just to kind of emphasize what Pat said, as a Celtics fan, I will never forget the Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson, Michael Petrus. I mean, those teams were legendary, and those teams also went on to play Kobe Bryant in the finals. How grateful are you for that time, to go up against Kobe while also being a teammate of him with Team USA? And what do you kind of think of when you think of that time with the Magic, just because you will always be a legend, especially for the Magic, let alone the Team USA run as well?
That was such an amazing time with the Magic. I truly hate how everything ended, but my time with the Magic was just what it was, magical. Going to the finals at 22, playing against one of your favorite players all time in Kobe Bryant, having a chance to win a championship, going against LeBron, playing against the Boston Celtics, the Big Three, all those great memories to have in that city, beautiful Orlando. It was such an amazing time there. And I'm just grateful that, I was able to see what I saw at a young age, going to the finals, bringing the city together, seeing how powerful and strong basketball is. It's an unforgettable time in Orlando.
Anybody that you played against, like obviously Kobe and all those greats you talk about, are you just trying to pick brains? Like how did you kind of operate whenever you were playing and watch? Because I think Jay Will, Duke Jay Will, he told a story about how when Kobe came and played the Chicago Bulls, he thought he got to the gym early and Kobe was already there. Was there a lot of those moments? Like how many of those types of situations happen for you? Straight out of high school, right into the NBA is a crazy thing, but I assume there can be development whenever you see, because that's like a formidable year. So whenever you see
it was just so much going on. Like imagine 18, you're just finishing high school. You just graduating, going to the prom, you get your all that stuff is just happening. Then you're drafted number 1 to an NBA team. Your whole life changes. Like everything happens so fast. Like it's hard to even remember a lot of these moments. Like, man, 18-year-old Dwight, like, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Like things were happening so fast. Like in one mind, I'm like, man, I just want to play basketball. Like I want to be like Kobe or, Shaq, and how their names are in the rafters, and people like, I'm at 18 thinking like, wow, like this is crazy. I'm actually living this dream. And, I wasn't really thinking of the magnitude of what all this stuff meant until I got a lot older and in my career. And, now I'm not playing. It's like, man, like that was a time. I'm looking at pictures in my house of my teammates in Orlando. I was looking at a picture last night of our Olympic team and just the team that we had. Like, man, that was the Redeem team was incredible.
Yeah, you've had a great run, brother. And you can continue that if you want to go back to Orlando and have good times. With the new rules, you could actually, I think, go play for UCF still.
Oh, yeah.
You can go play for UCF.
College for a reason.
I don't think you got to do class either.
You don't.
I think you just kind of go. No, okay. I think you're just underneath, brother.
That's it.
I think that's all you're doing. No.
They got Paolo. They got Suggs. Orlando got a pretty good team. So I can come and watch and help in any way I can. But as far as playing, it's the young fellas' time.
All right. Well, listen, that's kind of the issue, though, is like the sports got an interesting thing going on in college right now. We got an interesting thing going on with like how the whole business is working. I just want to let you know, if you start feeling froggy, you could, I think, go back to college right now.
No, sir.
Now, if you do, I'm just telling you, if you do, you can
go back and coach.
Maybe a March Madness run, Dwight. Maybe a March Madness run. No class. They're paying. They'll give you. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep
shoebox money.
Hey, can we talk about what's going on here? What is this? That's like that looks like a dash.
Oh, this is one of my favorite crystals. I just like to wear crystals. It's just some nice little artwork, to wear.
It's also good for the soul, right? Is it not? How long have you been into the crystals?
Forever. As a kid, I used to always go find rocks and to keep and look at and stuff like that. And as I got older, it became into nice crystals and stuff like that. I have them all around my house, rose quartz, crystal quartz, yes, a whole bunch of different ones. So, yeah, I'm big into it, yeah.
All right, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, because on top of the hoodie with the big-ass chain.
Yeah, he's also 7 feet, so that crystal is about, 10, 12?
Yeah, it has to be a full.
Yeah, that's a huge crystal.
Yeah, that's a sword.
Yeah, bingo.
They got a crystal sword on his chest. Yeah, all right, sick. All right, I'm happy you wore that. Thank you for doing that. Hey, you're the man. Good luck in your flag football game.
Thank you so much. You guys, I would love to come in and actually get on the show, live, and in person, so, let me know when I can come on.
So let me tell you, can we show you what we do to the rims here, And,
he can put that right off the wall. He'll take those right off the wall.
So the one on the right side there, 8 feet. We're having a good time on that one. We're Dwight Howard on that one. Okay, we are Dwight Howard on that one. And then the one on the left there, 10 feet. Do you still anything with basketball? Do we shoot? Do we do anything?
Yeah, I do. I train with my son. I work out. I'm still jumping and dunking. So, I just did a couple 360s the other day. Damn. Windmills. Okay. But
go run March Madness. What are we talking about? I didn't know.
No, I'm good. Oh man, that was 19-year-old Dwight Howard.
Okay, so as we're running these clips, Tone has a question for you actually about it.
Yeah, Dwight,
Yes,
I do. As we're watching you do it there, and then like Blake and Zach LaVine, it felt like after you guys were done doing the dunk contest, and I say this with a heavy heart, that the dunk contest may have died. Is there any way to save the dunk contest, do you think?
Well, I think people just got to stop comparing what happened in the old dunk contest and just allow people to try new things. It's so hard to be creative with dunks because you don't get that much time. And it's very different, actually doing the dunk contest and being in the gym dunking the basketball. You don't have no like juice. You got to bring your own energy. You got to entertain the crowd. And I think the era of people that, I've dunked with, we were good entertainers. And that's what made the dunk contest so fun. We was willing to get out there and, not worry about embarrassing ourselves, but have a great time and enjoy the fans and enjoy the moment. Like this is something that we all grew up watching, is the dunk contest and wanting to have moments like this. So when I got an opportunity to get out there, I'm like, man, yeah, I'm gonna put on the cape. I'll put on the jersey, the tight jersey. I jump over, I get a bigger rim, whatever, because I want people to see how much of, for me, basketball is how I express my art, how I express who I am. So, this is a part of my art, is dunking the basketball in different ways, jumping as high as I can. So, I enjoyed it, man. I had so much fun doing it. And I remember doing the last dunks in tribute to Kobe and stuff like that for the last dunk contest. But that was so much fun, man.
Yeah. It was so much fun. And once again, all glory day type stuff here. I appreciate you saying, like, obviously, let's not be comparing them to everything that has happened in the past. Incredible moment there, obviously. But
That's
saying.
so crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Let's not compare to the past dunks. But it's also, I appreciate you acknowledging, like, we had, like, personalities, like, we wanted it to be awesome. Like there's a little bit of that too that is potentially needed, and maybe a generation will show up and it's like, hey, let's make this.
I think it will.
Content.
I think it'll show up.
Content.
I think it will, and I think also like more people are like seeing the tricks of learning how to dunk and be able to jump higher. So now these athletes that are coming up, they're going to want to get into the dunk contest because they're like, man, nobody's doing it. So when I get a chance to get up into the NBA or become a content creator, I'm going to jump into the dunk contest and see what I can do. So hopefully they should add in some content creators this year because I know a couple that could really jump that will actually make the dunk contest go crazy, like NBA versus the world dunk contest. Like,
no, they don't want that. Hey, they got that little white. There's that little white guy who he does triple axles.
Jordan Kilgannon.
This guy,
Jordan Kilgannon.
He's unbelievable.
Jordan Kilgannon. Then they got a guy named T. Curry. He's a young guy that he got a 51-inch vert. They was trying to say MJ had a 51-inch vert. But he actually does have a 50.
Whoa.
Not to mention like Shams. I believe Shams.
He does. I seen him jump up and but before he dunked the ball, he tied his shoe, then put the ball between his legs and dunked it.
That's Sean.
Yeah, that's Sean.
Sharania did that?
No.
No, I've seen Shams.
okay.
I've seen a video of
right.
Shams doing that too.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, we don't know. We have no idea. He's in the All-Star game.
If he can do that, he need to stop reporting and go play basketball and do something. That's crazy.
Hey, we appreciate you. We don't know if you're already out there, but safe travels to California. We're gonna try to make it to this. We don't do anything Super Bowl week.
Nope.
We kind of find where we hang, and we just kind of hang there and do our thing. But Thursday, February 5th, 7 to 9. I mean, sounds like it's going to be a great time, you know? And
everybody come on.
All right, we will. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight!
We had personalities too, so.
Yeah. Good point.
You know, like.
What's the problem is, though? They are comparing to those old dunk contests, which is like, okay, how do we top this? Like, that was a great time for the dunk contest.
Well, comparing is the thief of joy.
He did say that.
Words are spells.
Yeah.
Well, they're spelled.
Mm-hmm. We're in spells.
Who said that?
Another lover of crystals.
Yeah, it was fascinating. It does, and it felt like he had a real meta, flow state vibe in that whole thing. Him playing for the Taiwan Leopards and us thinking they were already the Beer Leopards was missed by us.
Didn't realize they merged teams because the beer team is one of our favorites as well.
Yeah, the Beers.
The Beers.
The Milwaukee Beers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also a great team.
Great team.
I think it was the
who they combined with. Yeah.
Taipei Beers, excuse me, I forget.
We'll be joined by the all-time leading point haver in U.S. hockey history. Here in a matter of moments, I would assume. We ran a little bit behind there with our first conversation with Schefter as a general manager of the Minnesota Vikings was fired in the middle of our program as we're talking to our tribal chief, Royal Rumble, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Unlimited.
Is that the name?
Yes.
It's ESPN Plus Unlimited.
Okay, so ESPN.
So it's...
You have to have ESPN Plus, and then there are two kind of subcategories. There's, whatever the basic one is, and then unlimited is the all-encompassing, all-you-can-eat.
And then there's another one. And then there's another one, which is like
Hold on. Let's not get super duper, okay? Let's stay. So for tomorrow for a Royal Rumble, I need to be looking for ESPN Plus
Unlimited.
Okay, and then there's super duper unlimited right underneath it.
Yeah, and that's where I think you're allowed to check into the Rumble.
Do yourselves a favor.
Okay.
Do it tonight.
Yes, that's a smart idea. Yeah, I did one time Sunday ticket, didn't sign up until about 2 minutes before kickoff. What a terrible decision that was. This will feel like that tomorrow, 2 p.m. on ESPN Plus.
Unlimited.
Joining us now is a man who has unlimited powers on the ice. Okay? Unlimited. Whenever you talk about hockey, normally, in the old days, you'd have to immediately mention Canada. Because Canada is hockey town. Now, the NHL, where is most of the teams? Where's most of the success? Where's the Stanley Cups at? Okay, thank you. We'll have that conversation later. And, we got curling from you a couple years back, too. Don't let us do that again. Matt Hamilton might go ahead and do that. But Canada obviously created an incredible sport in this hockey. And U.S. has become a dominant force. It is not easy to become a great hockey player. It's a lot of early hours on the ice. Ice time is obviously incredibly expensive. It's incredibly hard. The cardiovascular plus the physical toll that it takes on your body is impossible. So for anybody to remain committed to that, they would have to be super disciplined and X out a lot of things that could potentially distract them, especially in the modern United States of America. Well, we have the guy, ladies and gentlemen, fresh off of breaking the record for the most points ever scored in the NHL by an American player. Absolute living legend, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
Kane, what's going on, Bob? How the mitts, pal? How the mitts, pal?
Talking Canadian now.
Just trying to do a little
that's more of a Canadian accent than hockey accent, I think.
Yeah, well, I just kind of tie it all together, with hockey. I apologize. Congratulations, dude. That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Huge deal.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to have me.
No problem. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Madonna, Mike, obviously stud, living legend, he sent a message to you, and then we got the information that obviously you looked up to him as a kid coming up in USA hockey. What does last night mean to you? Obviously, it was on the horizon, and I assume you understood that at some point you were going to get this, but then when the moment actually happens, how do you kind of feel on the ice there?
I think the biggest feeling is almost relief, right? Just to kind of get it done and over with and move on a little bit. I feel like there's a lot of attention on it, especially coming into the season. Just kind of doing it and being able to get it out of the way and move on is a good feeling. So listen, it's a special night. I mean, I had Amanda, my son, and my parents there to kind of cheer me on and be there for the moment. So it was special to obviously share the moment with my teammates, but also with them.
Great for hockey as well, brother, especially in the United States of America with this, rivalry with Canada, obviously always existing, but now it feels like at a fever's pitch. How do we feel about the state of USA hockey right now as you become lead USA hockey man of all time?
You know what? I think it's really in a great spot. I think you look at the Four Nations last year, what that team did. Brought a lot of excitement to the game, especially in the United States, and now going into the Olympics, pretty much a similar team going back there, and have a chance to win the best on best. So I'll be cheering them on. There's some great young American hockey players that are doing some special things in the game, and definitely be cheering them on. Obviously, we have a great one here in Detroit, and Dylan Larkin, who's lives and breathes USA hockey, Hold
on, Kano. I should have known this. I just assumed the guy who has the most fucking points in the history of American hockey players that he would be on the fucking team. Somebody just told me that was. Are you not? You said you'll be looking. What happened? What are we doing here? What is going on? You're not on. Okay.
That's bullshit.
I don't like that at all, Kano. I don't like that at all, Kano. I'm sorry.
Must be opting out.
Yeah, exactly.
They do have a good team going over, so I'll be cheering them on. Listen, I didn't have the greatest start to the year, and would have been great to be there, but definitely be cheering them on this year.
The future of America's in good hands, you say. Legend American hockey player. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, you mentioned all these young players that are in the league right now. I guess when you first came up in the league, did you ever find yourself, like, who were some of those older guys that maybe you grew up watching where you look around and you find yourself on the ice with some of these legends that you grew up watching? Are there any guys like that you can remember?
Yeah, for sure. Mike Modano was a big one. He's a guy that I watched a lot when I was younger, kind of had a great flair for the game. His speed and skill was something I always admired, especially at his size. He's around 6'3" or 6'4". Chris Chelios, I think he's probably the greatest American of all time when you add it all up, playing until he's 46, 47 years old. He's really become a great friend, and obviously have really gotten to know him, just from my Chicago days and being in Chicago. Jeremy Roenick had a great career. I grew up in Buffalo. Pat LaFontaine was a great player. So those are some of the Americans that I really looked up to.
Oh, Charlie. Great to hear his name. Mm-hmm. Great to hear old Charlie. Yeah, that's what we call him, right? Kano?
He's the best, man. He's such a great guy. Honestly, he's one of the best humans in the world. And anytime I do something or anything like that, he's the first to reach out. So I've really developed a good friendship with him, and one of the best guys in the world.
The hockey culture is an incredible one. Every time we learn about a new hockey player, we love them and we respect them, mostly because it's not easy at all. The sport is damn near impossible. Let alone you're on ice moving at like 20, 30 miles an hour. But the amount of work to build your body up to get to the point to make it is impossible. And it starts at a young age. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Kaner, it seems like in this day and age, every time there is a draft, whoever gets picked first overall, it's, oh, this guy's he's the next one. He's the next great hope, or, whatever the case may be. You were kind of in that same model, being the first overall pick. When it comes to this record, was there a point in your career, probably not when you were younger, but when it kind of all clicked into place and you're like, holy shit, this actually is something that is attainable and I could potentially be the greatest point getter in American history?
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? When that moment comes. I don't know. I feel like for me, as a young player, you're just trying to become the best player you can. Obviously, as an offensive guy, you're always trying to put up numbers and score goals, score points, create chances, things like that. But I don't think it was ever really like a thought until, maybe the past year or two where there was some more attention on it and people started mentioning to me that, maybe this is something that could be, attainable. Then you start thinking about it a little bit and how cool it would be to actually accomplish, especially, you look at all the amazing American hockey players that have played the game, and all of a sudden, here you are at the top of the list. It's a little bit surreal and humbling in a lot of ways too.
Speaking of humbling, feels like your culture is that way. And I mentioned it there before. He asked about the point in your professional career when you thought this was possible. But was I accurate in describing like your childhood as hockey player? You guys are like all in. We're talking moving. We're doing this right from a very young age. Is that an accurate depiction of how you kind of came about it as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, when I was younger, I loved playing hockey, right? That was my childhood. That's what I loved to do. So, I was on the ice all the time, maybe 350 days a year. I loved playing summer hockey. I loved going up to, I grew up in Buffalo, so tournaments in Toronto and Canada were some of the best tournaments you could play against competition that maybe was a little bit better than, what you were playing against in the States. So it was always fun to do that. And then, I moved away my freshman year of high school to try and, become a better hockey player. I actually moved to Detroit when I was a freshman in high school and decided to play here for a year, then a couple of years with the U.S. program in Ann Arbor, and then, another year in London, Ontario. So my 4 years of high school were, all away from home. So definitely some sacrifices had to be made, but you look back on them, it was definitely, all worth it.
You hockey people are awesome. Legitimately, you hockey people are awesome. Yeah, I moved away from home freshman year of high school. I'm going off to fucking camp. Where are you ever coming back? Hopefully not. Actually, I'm going to go to Canada before I come back home. I'll see you a couple different times. That's every hockey story, it feels like. It's so much commitment, literally. But I think they know who's going to be somebody, right? Early? Is that not in hockey as well?
I feel like it's hard to say, right? I mean, some of the best players I played against, 14, 15 years old, never made it or made it and never really had a great career. I think it's about opportunity too. You have to make the right decisions. You have to make the most of, kind of your opportunity in certain situations. I didn't think I was the best player at my age level growing up, especially at that age, but you get some opportunity, you play in good situations, you continue to develop, and all of a sudden you're looking at yourself being drafted as a first round pick or first overall, and then you get even more opportunity because you're going to a team that needs some help, right? So I look back on it, I'm definitely grateful for a lot of the situations I was in that I was able to excel in.
Yeah, I think you did great. We'll head into the weekend. We'll see you Wednesday here on ESPN. We're still live, though, Kano. Still live, Kano. Okay? No Zamboni yet. Okay, we are still live action here. All right, we're on YouTube, TikTok Live, X, I believe, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and even ESPN Plus
Unlimited.
Hey, so when did you get the dangles, huh? When do we get the sticky mitts? When do we start? When we start saucing? Because I got pretty good. When did that start happening? As a child, that thing was glued to the stick.
Yeah, as a kid. Actually, funny story. I used to always carry around a stick in one of those little orange hockey balls, and going into hotels, I'd stick handle going up the stairs, or I'd stick handle going into the rink. And we were playing in London, and my dad would actually carry the bag, my hockey bag, into the rink so I could stick handle and just work on my hands or whatever. And we were playing in London, had a bunch of people come down. The bus was leaving. And I was saying, my highs and goodbyes to, family and friends that were there. So my dad took my bag out to the bus, and someone shouted out, "Look, the old man's still carrying the bag for him." So we kind of looked back to see who it was, but never really put a face to the situation. But that's just kind of what I was doing as a kid. Just always stick handling, always had a stick and ball, and not just because I was trying to work on my hands or anything, but just because that's what I love to do, so.
It's crazy how you can be obsessed with something that you just enjoy doing,
Yeah.
There is,
yeah,
what's that book?
Exactly.
What's that book?
Outliers.
The Outliers. Have you ever heard of the book, The Outliers?
I haven't.
It basically goes through the stories of all these people who are at the top of their fields and how like a happenstance in their life certainly led them to that. Like I think Bill Gates or something like that.
Yeah, he grew up next to the first supercomputer ever in the United States in Washington, so he obviously was privy to that information before anybody. Like for Patrick Kane, it would be growing up in Buffalo.
And having an obsession with hockey.
Yes.
Like that could certainly help. Oh, yeah, and you can just go across the bridge here and go play against some Canadians. And when you come back, your dad's going to be known for carrying your bag. Everybody else has to carry it because the little Kano is obsessed with just dangles. This guy's triple deking everything he sees whenever he's walking into buildings. That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. We used to go to Sabres games, and on the way in, we'd buy like one of those little mini sticks, and we'd see some like garbage or like napkins on the ground, and we'd make a ball out of it, and like I'd go running up and down the hallway at 6, 7 years old, like stick handling in and out of people, like putting it through their legs. They're probably like, what's this kid doing with that?
No, they say that's
like
Kano.
like
that's fucking Kano.
There goes Kano again.
There goes fucking Kano.
Put it home, Kano.
That little goddamn Kano never stops. Jeez Louise. That's what they say. And they said that man will go on to be Lord Stanley's friend multiple times. The all-time leading United States scorer in the history of hockey. We talk about you hoisting Lordo. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Kano, obviously 3 Stanley Cups. Is there one that stands out as a Boston Bruins fan, the one where you snatched the soul out of New England and Bruins fans everywhere does for me, but also, you score an overtime game winner to win the Stanley Cup. That's basically what you dream of when you're, as a kid in those arenas. But is there one you look back on just thinking of the team or the moment that's kind of seems more special than maybe the others?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if one is more special than the others. They're all special in their own way. Like you said, 2010 was an overtime goal. 2013 was, the Bruins were up 2-1, and we scored 2 in 17 seconds to take Game 6 and win that one. And then, 2015 was our first one at home, so that was special. Just kind of spending it in the locker room after your home locker room, and just kind of having a never-ending party there was, I think, memories we'll never forget. But yeah, I definitely think they're all special in their own way.
All right, hey, last question for you, and I would like you to get this one right. And I know you're going to feel obligated to say the wrong answer, okay?
Yeah.
Because what's on your head right now. Tone Diggs from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania has a question for you.
Yeah, Patty, obviously you're playing in Detroit now. You've played in Chicago. You grew up in Buffalo. You've obviously played in the barn in Boston. You've played Pittsburgh a lot. Where is Hockey Town, USA? We have this debate around here quite a bit. Where, in your opinion, Pittsburgh is Hockey Town, USA?
Yeah, is that what you would say?
No, there's only one hockey town. It's Detroit. That's the name. That's the name that's given here in Detroit. Is the hockey town. That's the logo on the center ice, right?
The fuck.
There's only one hockey town.
That's what I'm talking about, Kaner. I needed you to say that to these boys because everyone's forgetting around here.
Well, I will say this. The person that set up this conversation, they're in their email. There is a reference to it in name of email for opportunity.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like everything I didn't know that came through and I saw it. I'm like, oh shit! I have to be incredibly disrespectful whenever I'm. When I'm saying Pittsburgh is hockey town, I mean that is wildly disrespectful every time I say it.
If you Google where is hockey town, Detroit, Michigan shows up.
Okay, yeah, AI certainly getting everything right. We won't dive into that. That is a Red Wings. That is a Red Wings fan there, Foxy. He has a question for you, actually, Kaner.
Yeah, Kaner. First and foremost, thank you for your service to Hockey Town. Growing up in Michigan in the 90s, 2000s. Detroit Red Wing hockey was absolutely everything. Everyone in the state of Michigan was playing hockey at a young age. Yeah. And now, as you can see, some people are forgetting what Hockey Town really means to the NHL. And it's been, I think, 10 years since we've made the playoffs, which is this year you guys are having an awesome season. So hopefully that drought ends. But can you just talk about Hockey Town and why it's such a special place to play hockey?
Yeah. Obviously I came from Chicago, being in Chicago a lot of years, and big rivalry between the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. And I guess for me, I never really knew how I was going to be accepted at first. And honestly, the fans and the organization has been incredible. Really has just welcomed me with open arms, and it's been an amazing place to play. I mean, playing at Little Caesars Arena and the support we get every night from the fans and how loud the building is, it's just it feels like you're playing in the playoffs every night here. So, listen, I think it's hockey town for a reason, and like you said, we haven't been in the playoffs for a while, so in a good spot right now, and excited to get back there and do some damage.
Is it It's a Pizza or Pizza?
Pizza. I had to check that for a second.
Yeah, that's good. Way to go, Kane. Hey, we appreciate you, man. Congrats on the accolade, another of many throughout your entire career. Thanks for what you're doing for USA Hockey, and good luck to Hockey Town. Good luck to Hockey Town.
Thanks for having me, boys. Appreciate it.
Hey, next time I'll show off my mitts, we'll go top mitts, do the whole thing. Okay, Kano, sound good? Yeah, all right.
Love to see him. I'd love to see him.
Patrick Kane, we appreciate you.
Yeah, Kano!
Sure sound Canadian there, pal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, only people to call him Kano, I think, in his life, probably.
That is interesting. No hockey,
What?
yeah, right.
No it's Kaner. It's been Kane. Every time you hear it, it's Kane. They all say Kaner, but you go, hey, Kano.
No, it's Patty.
Kano.
4,000 times.
Yeah. I just, anytime you throw an O on there.
Yeah, it works.
Because you can showcase the Canadian O.
Yeah, that's hockey, baby.
Yeah, that is hockey O. That is old hockey. That's old hockey.
Hawko doesn't know.
Hawko.
I don't.
Auger.
Yeah.
We do both.
I was going to say,
just like Kane.
I try to throw in a hoggle every time.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Hockey has the best inside their community shit.
No
doubt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their lingo is top tier.
Top tier, yeah. And I don't know if it's just Canadians. Like, I think Canadians potentially just have top tier lingo, and it's because I think they're all locked in their houses.
Yeah.
Because it's so cold for so long. So, got to be funny, got to be entertaining, got to come up with ways to say things.
Yeah, like, the Canadians bring the lingo, the United States brings the moxie, and then like the Russians bring like the party. That's kind of how the culture gets formed.
I think that is probably a pretty accurate depiction of how it all goes.
Swedes bring the skill. You could argue that the Finns bring the goalies.
And you know what America brings?
What's that?
Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Gold medals.
And the beers.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes.
How could you not? Especially whenever Team USA Hockey did what it did. Whenever you hear somebody so perfectly phrase something, it's a moment etched in sports history. And then there's documentaries about the behind the scenes. And it's clear that a Paisan was certainly one of the most pivotal pieces in one of the greatest runs in the history of sports. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a documentary that is out today on Netflix called Miracle, The Boys of 80. The gold medalist captain for the Miracle on Ice out of Winthrop, Massachusetts. Mike Eruzione.
Yeah!
How you doing?
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Hey, Paisan, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. No better person to join us on this Feel Good Friday as we head into a massive weekend kicking off Super Bowl week. So we appreciate you taking time out of your life. How has it been reliving the glory, if you will, with this new documentary? I assume it's a nice trip of nostalgia, a little trip down memory lane. How was it and how has it been?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen the final version, so I'm going to see it tonight. I got 60 family, friends, and relatives going to go to the golf club down the street from where I live, and we're going to sit at the bar and we're going to watch the video, and everybody's going to remember what it was like 40-something years ago. I'm excited about it.
Okay, so you haven't seen it yet, but the process of the making of it, a lot of reliving, a lot of storytelling. What kind of was it for you?
It was great. A bunch of us went back to Lake Placid, although, many of us have been there off and on over the years, but to go back with your teammates, to sit in the locker room and just kind of reminisce what it was like in this quaint little place in Lake Placid. I mean, it's hard for people to believe that if you ever go to Lake Placid, if you go to that arena, it's hard to think that they had an Olympic Games there. But whenever we go back, I call it Pleasantville. It's like going back in time. It's a special place, and we're excited about, seeing how they put this whole documentary together. I have seen bits and pieces, but have not seen the final version, so I'm excited about that, and I think people are going to enjoy it. I think the way this country's going now, we could use a 1980, so maybe it'd be nice for everybody to look back on a great moment.
Hell yes. Also, with the Olympics around the corner, I think sports do have an incredible way of bringing people together. Couldn't be a more perfect time for the Winter Olympics, just a few weeks out. You said it feels like you're going back in time. Let's go back in time. In that locker room, after the huge win, obviously you guys can't hear what Al Michaels is saying with the miracle call, and it's a much more, unless you have a phone in the kitchen, I don't know how you contacted people. Did you guys know the gravity of the situation there? Because that wasn't even in the finals, but did you know the gravity of what your team was going to be in the moment?
No clue whatsoever. We knew people in Lake Placid were excited. I knew my family and friends at home were excited, but no clue that the world and the country was watching the way they were. And remember now, there were only 3 TV stations then. There was no Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and all this crazy stuff that everybody deals with today. We were in a little place in Lake Placid playing a hockey game, and it wasn't until after we beat Finland, which people forget about, because if we don't beat Finland, you and I aren't having this conversation right now. We beat Finland, and we go to the White House on Monday, and the streets were lined with people, 4 or 5 rows deep, waving American flags, people singing the Star Spangled Banner. It was like, oh my God, you people watched? It was just incredible. And people will come up to me today, depending on how old they are. They remember where they were when Kennedy got assassinated. They remember where they were when the Challenger blew up. They remember where they were on 9/11. And they'll always say, I remember where I was when we won. And I always go, I didn't know you were on the team. But that's what that moment was. It wasn't Boston. It wasn't Chicago. And I've said this, and I'll say this the day I die, other than being a police officer, a firefighter, someone in the military who protects our country, there's no greater feeling than putting on a USA jersey. Because you're not playing for a Super Bowl, you're not playing for a Stanley Cup, you're playing for an Olympic gold medal. And you put the USA jersey on, it's pretty special and pretty amazing. And when we accomplished what we did and saw how much joy it brought to a nation, it makes it even that much more special.
Who do you play for, man? You know, that's the.
It's very few people get to be Olympic athletes, and when you are, it's something you should cherish and honor.
Yeah, hell yeah, and you guys certainly did that, and we're still obviously talking about it, and we'll talk about it for the rest of the time. And documentaries obviously are a nice reminder to people that maybe haven't heard the story that there is great inspiration and optimism right around the corner, and sports certainly can provide that. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, your head coach, Herb Brooks. I know a lot of people are aware of a lot of your whole story through the movie Miracle that came out. I don't know what year it did come out, but can you talk about your head coach, like what he was like back then? I know there's always a big thing of you guys bonding together to go against him almost, like the whole how he was a hard-driving coach. What was he like? Did the movie do a good job representing him? I'm sure we'll get to see in the documentary tonight. You know, even
he's AJ. He's a lot friendlier in the movie. They softened him up in the movie. But you know, and preaching to you guys, you know sports as well as I do. That's how coaches coached in the 70s. My high school football coach, my college hockey coach, they demanded a lot out of you. They challenged you all the time. And Herb was maybe a little more demanding and a little more challenging, but there's a way he was going to coach this particular team, and this is the way it's going to be. And he stayed true to form right till the end. You know, when we won the gold medal, he didn't come out on the ice and celebrate with us. If he did, it would have been, oh, now you want to be our friend. Now you want to be close to us. He let us enjoy the moment, and he made a decision to coach that team the way he did, partly because there were 12 guys on the team from Minnesota, 9 that played under him at the University of Minnesota. And as a player trying out for the team, wondering, hey, are they going to pick any Eastern guys? Because normally Eastern coach, Eastern players, Western coach, Western players. And clearly the best team was put together, and all the Minnesota kids on that team were not only good people, great players. So he made a decision that it was going to be us against him. And as he said throughout the year, there's a method to my madness. And we understood that's the way it was going to be. I mean, 2-hour practice, you can yell and scream at me all you want. After practice, I'm going to go have a few beers with the guys and come back to practice the next day. But 2 of the qualities that Herb had, and I say this all the time about coaches, if you don't trust your coach, you're in trouble. And if you don't respect your coach, you're in trouble. We trusted Herb, we respected Herb, and if this is the way he was going to coach our team, then we're going to deal with it and we're going to play. And look again at the success of our team. Doing something that nobody in the world thought we could win a medal, let alone win the whole thing. But he believed in us, and we understood what he was doing. That's the way it was going to be.
The power of team. Beautiful thing. And obviously you talk about Eastern guys and Western guys, Midwest guys. You are Eastern guy. Incredible Eastern Italian, by the way. We love that around here. Grazie. And I don't know if you know this, but the NFL is back to being an Eastern league, I guess. Connor, Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Rizzo, absolute honor. But
thank you.
Pat just mentioned it, the Patriots. You can see the helmet. I know you are a diehard Pats fan as well. How do you feel about Mike Vrabel, Drake May, 9 days to the Super Bowl? And do you feel good about the team? And also, I assume you also needed some T's and P's for Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. That affected us all individually.
That to me is probably one of the most embarrassing sporting moments I've ever been around, and I follow sports quite a bit. And, obviously, being in Boston and the Patriots and the Celtics, and when I was a kid, the Celtics were winning championships after championships. And back in the 70s, 80s rather, I used to travel with the team when Raymond Berry was the coach. Steve Grogan, Steve Nelson, Tim Fox, all those guys. I was at the Super Bowl when they got beat up by the Bears, but I was on the sidelines during a lot of NFL games when those guys were playing. So I've got a great love for the New England Patriots, obviously, in sports. And I think you can't get a better collection right now with Mike Vrabel and May. I think they're a perfect marriage together. I love the way Vrabel coaches. He seems like the guy I'd want to play for him. And Drake May at 22 years old or whatever, and he looks like he's 12. What he's doing is pretty exciting. So obviously in New England, we're happy again that the Patriots are back in the limelight. But I think it's going to be a hard game. I think Seattle's awfully good. But the Patriots all year, nobody's giving them credit. They say they have the easiest schedule, all this and all that. But hey, they're still professional football players. I don't care how easy the schedule is. They're still pretty talented players that they're playing against. And they're playing extremely well right now. And I'm excited about the opportunity for them. And hopefully good things can happen.
You're speaking literally from Connor's.
I just knew Rizzo knew ball. Like, there's never a question about it, but even hearing it, and you talk about it all the time too. Like people in New England, Massachusetts, they just know football better than the layman. Granted, gold medalist, superstar, legendary Michael Eruzione, of course, he knows football. But that was music to my ears, Rizzo. Thank you.
All right, Riz Paisan. Obviously, we're gonna have to gas up your fucking city for the next 20 years. It sounds like, okay, Riz. Yeah, we're all pumped about it, but it does feel like Vrabel and Drake are the perfect combo, and they could do this for another 20 years if they really wanted to. So good for you guys up there and your fans. Now let's talk about hockey becoming very, very relevant to the entire world very soon with this Olympics. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Mike, with this Olympics, obviously your team was all amateurs for that Olympics, and now professionals are playing in the Olympics. Do you like that the NHL players are playing in the Olympics, or did you prefer like it was back in the day when it was all amateurs with you?
No, it was never all amateurs because the Soviets and the Swedes and the Finns and the Czechs were professional players playing professional hockey over in their country.
That's why it's a miracle, you see.
Amateurs were usually just the United States and Canada. I was, at the beginning, curious how they would play against each other. If I'm playing for the Penguins and I'm on the U.S. Olympic team and I'm playing against one of my Penguin teammates who's playing for Canada, am I going to hit him? Am I going to go after him? And when I talked to the players, they said absolutely. You separate your differences after the games are over and you go back to being on the team that you're playing on. So when I knew that and I saw that, it was like, yeah, let the best players in the world play. And they are so good. They are so talented. At that Four Nations tournament, if you saw any of it, you saw the Kachuk brothers drop the gloves at the beginning.
Immediately.
They're playing for their country. And Sidney Crosby said the same things. I heard Sidney say when you put the crest on, it's a whole different ballgame. And when you see that, and you're going to see it in the Olympic Games, they're going to go after each other. They're going to compete. I wish the Soviets were playing in it because I still like to see the best teams in the world play. The Soviets aren't there, and that's because their country's all messed up. But unfortunately, the athletes are suffering because of that. But
agreed.
Having said that, this is the best U.S. team we've ever put on the ice. This is the most talented, the deepest. I thought they were going to win in the Four Nations tournament, but you see how important a goaltender can be. Binnington was spectacular, and Canada's loaded. You got Makar, you've got maybe the best player I've seen ever. Close to it. I can't take Mr. Lemieux and Mr. Gretzky out of the equation, but Connor McDavid's pretty damn good. So I think Canada's loaded. I think our goaltending might be a little better, but clearly I think this is the best team that we've put on the ice for the Olympic Games. And when I was at the Four Nations, I had the pleasure of being the honorary captain, And I told the players, I says, do me a favor and win a gold medal so people will leave us alone and it's over and they can carry the torch. My grandkids need their heroes, and hopefully it'll be this team. And I'll be in Milan, and I'm excited about this team and what they can do.
Happy you'll be there. You should be at everything going forward for everybody at all times. But Ty had a question about that last statement you made there, actually.
Yeah, Mike, I did want to ask you about that because I think it was kind of tongue-in-cheek, about, hey, stop bothering us. Like we need the new blood to kind of create some new heroes. Do you think in this day and age when these guys, and granted, they're not making the kind of money that, NBA players, NFL, MLB players are, but do you think that is still, like, if we were to win a gold medal, do you think that kind of does, I don't want to say, it's not going to diminish what you guys did, but do you think that will kind of put you guys in your place in history, and then people will kind of start to talk about this new iteration of U.S. hockey, and it won't be so much, hey, it's unbelievable. Like, we're never going to see another Miracle on Ice, but we'll kind of have our new regime, I guess, of hockey in the United States.
Well, I think it'll be a testament to how far the game has gone, how far it's come, how good our players are today. And I'm just going to add one little side note, too. You should see how good our women are and how talented the ladies are and how much better women's hockey is today than it was. But the men's hockey program and where they go, if they win a gold medal, it'll be a showcase of how far U.S. hockey has come. I think in 1980, we might have opened the door. Today's players have knocked it down. And if they win a gold medal, it's not going to change one damn thing that we did. What we did is what we did. What we did will never be, it'll never happen again because you'll never see a bunch of college kids play against NHL players or pros and win. So let's take that out of the equation right there. And the state of the country at the time, maybe a little similar to now, but at that time in 1980, you remember who's going to be the president. There were gas lines, inflation, the hostages had been taken, the threat of a Cold War, Soviets invaded Afghanistan. There were so many things around politically, and we were playing the Soviets. We're not playing the Soviets in this Olympic Games. So I think that whole side of the end of what we did in 80, you'll never, ever see again. And this is their moment. This is their team to do what they need to do. It's not going to change, our team and our history and our story because what we did, you'll never see again. But for hockey, it would be a great tribute to the American players that are playing the game. And my grandkids are going to look up to these players. They'll have their heroes and, want to play in the NHL because of what they're seeing out there and what this country is doing. So we're going to rally around it and hopefully they can win. But if it does happen and they do win, good for them. Let them have their day. We've had ours.
Hell yeah, Riz. I love that speech you just gave for the boys. It's like, hey, a lot of things happen in the world. Sports have the ability. America winning would be great right now, especially with what we have in Kaching last night. He's all the way back. It feels like the boys are ready to go. I did not know Patrick Kane was not on the team. Yeah. That is a surprise. Learning that in real time while I'm talking to him, that was obviously a mistake by me, but I like our team. I like what we're doing. And I like the idea of you potentially giving us a speech as we send into the greatest weekend of all time. Can you do that with us? We always end the show with a team on me, team on three type thing. Would you mind being a part of that with us, Cap?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. So we will be off Monday and Tuesday. We will be back on Wednesday live from Radio Row in San Francisco with guests through the roof. A hilarious situation will occur probably 2-3 times an hour. A ridiculous situation will occur probably 4 or 5 times an hour. Radio Row is insane. We'll be celebrating the year that was for ball. And we hope you have the greatest weekend of all time because next week and, the future is an amazing thing. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Anything to say to the team here, Riz?
Thanks for having me on, team. And if you believe in something and you're willing to work hard, you will accomplish it. And that's what our hockey team is going to do in Milan.
Hell yeah, Riz. Yeah. Hell yeah. Team on three. Have an incredible weekend. 1, 2, 3. Team.
Team.
Goodbye.